But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
On a 70-degree evening, we welcome you into Ullman Stadium in Thousand Oaks. Tonight, the SLO Blues rematch with the Conejo Oaks in Game 2 of this two-game road trip. The Blues dropped a back-and-forth battle here last night. SLO and Conejo traded runs in the middle innings, but an Oaks grand slam in the fifth proved to be the difference. The Blues allowed only 5 hits, but the one that left the yard stung the most. 2 slow errors and 11 walks helped give Conejo a 9-6 victory, their 8th win in the last 9 games against the Blues. Now back in Thousand Oaks for the second straight day, the Blues hand the ball to Grant Cunningham to try and avoid losing their first series of the summer. The Oaks will counter with a right-hander of their own, Wes De La Tour from Oxnard Community College. Is a rematch win in the card for the Blues, or will the Oaks complete the sweep? Find out next as we get underway on the SLO Blues streaming network. We welcome you into Ullman Stadium here in Thousand Oaks, California for Game 2 of this two-game series between the Blues and the Oaks. After the Blues dropped Game 1 yesterday, they look to win this one today to keep their streak alive of not losing series here in the summer of 2023. And they're preparing to battle up here in the top of the first inning. Here's the Blues lineup that will grace the lineup card today for Dean Traynor. It's Jariah Lewis leading things off, the left fielder from San Jose State, and his Spartan teammate Theo Hardy makes his Blues debut, hitting second and playing shortstop. Corbin Ibarra back in right field, he hits third. JT Ricken, the third baseman from Oregon, cleaned things up. TJ Adams making his first center field start for the Blues is in the 5 spot. Luke Pemberton, who was the hero against the Santa Barbara Foresters at home, DHs and bats 6th. Another Blues debut, Matt Massiangelo from CSU Bakersfield plays first and hits 7th. In the 8th spot, it's the catcher Jake Bolt from Princeton. And a final debut for today, Sam DeCarlo, the second baseman from Washington, hits in the 9th spot. The Blues will look out at the right-hander Wes De La Tour, the 5'11", 195-pound right-hander, is a junior from Oxnard Community College, had an 8.35 earned run average in 18 and a third innings pitched last year. So the Blues have their work to do today to try and take this second game from the Conejo Oaks, a team that has dominated them over the past 2 summers now. Last year, The Oaks won 7 of the 8 games they played against the Blues, and they picked up right where they left off in yesterday's contest, winning by a final score of 9-6. It was back and forth the whole way. At one point, there were 5 straight half innings with runs scored, and it was the Oaks that had the biggest hit. It was a grand slam from Chris Wright, the right fielder, now first baseman today. He put one over the right field wall to put 4 runs on the board for the Oaks, and the Blues never tied or regained the lead after that. It proved to be the deciding hit in Game 1 of this 2-game road series for San Luis Obispo. Now in Game 2, the Blues bring up the top 3 here in the first. Uriah Lewis, Theo Hardy, and Corbin Ibarra against Wes De La Tour, hoping for a quicker start than yesterday, where they quickly fell behind 3-0. Uriah Lewis, a .273 hitter in CCL play with a run batted in, stands at the dish, the left-handed hitting left fielder from San Jose State. De La Tour delivers. Lewis shows bunt and takes a fastball up high. 1 ball and no strikes. That's how this game gets started. 4:02 p.m., couple of minutes late. Temperature 68 degrees here in Thousand Oaks, California. Lewis ahead in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. And now the third baseman, Peyton, playing further in, respecting his speed. And Lewis chases the changeup, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jariah led off and played center field in yesterday's game. Went 1 for 4, had a walk as well. The 1-1 from De La Tour. And Lewis a little bit late on that fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nin Burns has not been with the team for the past 2 days, so Lewis has gotten the start in the outfield and the leadoff spot both days. It's not something he's used to, batting leadoff. He's normally hitting 3 or 4, as he was telling me before the game, but something he's trying to pick up as well. Another tool in the toolbox. 1-2. And Lewis flies it into shallow left field. In comes Audet, and it's the shortstop Schultz that ends up making the catch for the first out of the inning. There's 1 away. Here's how the defense shakes out for the Conejo Oaks. It's Audet, the left fielder, Carrillo in center, Schwartzberg is in right. On the right side of the infield, it's Wright and Falskin. The left side, Schultz and Peyton. Markinson behind the squat doing the catching, and Dode is DHing. Up now for his first Blues at-bat, it's the shortstop Theo Hardy from San Jose State, and he takes a cutter on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Hardy hit .329 this past season for the Spartans. 2 home runs, 27 runs batted in. As he prepares for the 0-1, here it is. And he laces it foul back to the screen, 0-2. Hardy was all Mountain West first team for the Spartans, who ended up winning the conference and heading to the NCAA tournament. He's the 3rd Spartan to arrive here for the Blues. It was Lewis, then Matt Spear, who homered yesterday, and now Hardy, who's hitting in the 2 spot in his first game. 0-2. And he takes the slider down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues haven't lost 2 straight games all year. They've been really good about getting that second game once they play a team for the first time. 1-2. And Hardy leaves that changeup out of the zone, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The season started with a 2-game sweep against the Coastal Dodgers. Then the Bay Area Admirals rolled in, took the first game. The Solano Mudcats took the first game versus the Blues. Both those times, though, the Blues fought back and grabbed Game 2. Same thing in the series against the Santa Barbara Foresters, where the Blues played on the road in the first game of the series, lost that one, but then came back to Sinsheimer Stadium and won by a couple runs. Full count on Hardy, who chokes up with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from De La Tour, and Hardy flies it foul. In total, the Blues are 5-0 in Game 2s this summer. This, though, is the first one that they are playing on the road. So it's a less familiar location. Still trying to keep the trend alive. 3-2 on the 2-hole hitter. De La Tour delivers and misses high. It's a walk for Theo Hardy in his first Blues at-bat, and the Blues have a base runner with 1 out. So with Hardy on, here's Corbin Ibarra, the right fielder from Tulane. 0 for 2 with 2 walks so far since CCL play has started. De La Tour works from the stretch. No change for him with a runner on base. He looks back to first and comes home. Misses low with that fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Ibarra, Tulane green wave. All of his hits this summer have come in one game. 1-0. And he laces a line drive into center field. That trend continues no longer. Hardy taking a big turn around second base, and he puts on the brakes as the ball bobbled around in center field by Carrillo. After the hit, it's first and second with 1 out. So Ibarra, another base hit. That's his first in league play. And the Blues getting a couple base runners on here in the first inning. JT Rick into the dish now, 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in the lone game that he's played in league play. The third baseman from Oregon steps up, with the Blues already having a runner in scoring position here in the first. De La Torre steps off, pats his chest to say, "That's on me," and now retakes the hill. Hardy dances off second. De La Torre delivers and hits the outside corner with that fastball. It's 0-1. Ricken, 6'2", 210-pound redshirt freshman, hailing from Seattle, Washington, has 1 hit in league play. Here's the 0-1, and he laces a line drive into left field. Another base hit for the Blues. Hardy gets the stop sign at third. It's bases loaded, 1 out for the Blues. The Blues are seeing De La Torre here early. They've got that fastball. Everyone, since Lewis has come up, is waiting back on it. And they're punishing it into the outfield. And now a big chance for the Blues with TJ Adams coming up, who could use a big hit. Talked with Adams before the game. He's had a rough day at the plate yesterday, but what do you do when you have a rough day at the plate the day before? You have a good day today. So he's looking to hit something hard. Here's the first pitch from De La Torre. And Adams watches the fastball on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Adams hit a ball 395-ish feet to center field yesterday. That was caught at the warning track, and I was joking with him, maybe try going down the line. It's only 320. He does, and he pops it up down the third base line. It's the third baseman, Peyton, who's ranging towards the line. Peyton, the left fielder, watches it fall just about a foot in front of his glove. No balls and 2 strikes. Adams said he was seeing the ball well yesterday, but just not the best day at the plate for him. He's been bumped just a couple spots down the batting order, but it's afforded him this great opportunity here in the first. He's got to battle up, though. 0-2 count with bases loaded, 1 out. Hardy at third, Ibarra at second, Ricken at first. De La Torre comes home and misses outside with a slider. It bounces off the catcher, Markinson, and Hardy didn't pull the trigger. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We saw excellent defensive play behind the plate for the Oaks yesterday. It was the starter, Durfee, who kept everything around home plate. And already Markinson doing a lot of the same here in the top of the first inning. The 1-2. And Adams lines it into left field, base hit. Hardy jogs in to score. Getting the stop sign is Ibarra at third. The Blues go station to score their first run. It's 1-0. So the Blues are the team that jumps out in front today. That's 3 straight singles on line drives. And they're not done yet. Luke Pemberton coming up. Still bases loaded, 1 out. That's got to feel good for TJ Adams. Robbed of a hit yesterday. And now comes up in his first at-bat. Battles around that 0-2 start. And keeps the line moving. 3 hits already in the inning for the Blues. And it's the walk that scores in Theo Hardy. De La Torre comes home to Pemberton, who takes a fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Last time Blues fans saw Pemberton was yesterday when he was pitching, the submarine throwing position player. But the last time he was at the plate, he came through in a big way with a 2 RBI double to untie the game between the Foresters and the Blues. 1-0, and Pemberton takes the changeup low, 2 balls and no strikes. Pemberton in total hitting .333 throughout league play. He's 1 for 3 with that 2 RBI double. The Blues and the Foresters were tied through 6.5 innings, and it was his hit that untied the game and gave the Blues their lead that they would not relinquish. He pops it up, just back out of play, heading barely over the netting. It bounces into the glove of Markinson, who caught it, they're saying, right before the net as Pemberton is retired. Right in front of us here, hard to get a good look at that one, but Pemberton pops out in a 2-ball count, and Markinson made the catch just before the net. Such a tough read from where we're sitting behind home plate, but Markinson knew it all the way just managed to sneak his glove in there before the netting. And here's Matt Massiangelo, the first baseman from CSU Bakersfield, to make his Blues debut in a bases-loaded spot. The 0-0. And Massiangelo takes a fastball outside. Back pick goes to first on 3 hops with no one covering. And Adams is back in safe. Well, you don't see that too often. The first baseman, Wright, is playing basically in the outfield and had no thought to go cover first base. But a 1-0 count on Massiangelo, who was 8 for 20 this past season for the Roadrunners at the plate. 1-0. He takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Massiangelo, 5'11", 190-pound junior, who's bounced around, went to Seton Catholic Prep in high school, went to Chandler Gilbert Community College, but ended up at CSU Bakersfield this past year, a two-way player who got things done well at the plate. Here's the 1-1. And Massiangelo rips a liner into right field. That falls. Here comes one run. Getting the wave is Ricken at third. He is tagged out at home. Ricken contests the call, but the Blues score 2 runs in the first. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, it is 2-0 San Luis Obispo.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
The Blues are up by 2, and here in the bottom of the first inning is the lineup that the Oaks will be bringing to the plate. It's Austin Carrillo to lead things off for the second straight day. Zachary Schwartzberg, the right fielder, hits second. Max Aude moves to left field and hits third. Zach Dode moves to designated hitter and hits cleanup. Chris Wright, a couple bumps up the order after his go-ahead grand slam yesterday. He plays first and bats fifth. Eli Payton, the third baseman, enters the game and hits sixth. Bennett Markinson behind the dish. You saw him keep the ball around home plate to keep a run from scoring. He hits seventh. Taylor Schultz, the shortstop, bats eighth, and Carson Falskin is in the ninth spot once again, the second baseman from NC State. On the mound for your San Luis Obispo Blues, making his second appearance, is Grant Cunningham, the right-hander from the University of Washington, stands 6'3", 220 pounds. He got the win in the victory over the Santa Barbara Foresters. 2 innings pitched, 1 earned run for the right-hander from UW. Here's the full defense for your San Luis Obispo Blues. It's Lewis, Adams, and Ibarra in the outfield from left to right. On the left side of the infield, Ricken and Hardy. DeCarlo gets the start at second with Massiangelo at first. An almost completely new infield for the Blues. Jake Bold behind the plate. Luke Pemberton is DHing. And, of course, Grant Cunningham is on the hill. The Blues scored 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. Could have scored another as they were trying to score Ricken on a single from Matt Massiangelo, and he was thrown out at the plate. But the walk and 4 singles into the outfield for the San Luis Obispo Blues put them up early here. And as they try and get some revenge for yesterday's loss. They've got an early lead. And now Grant Cunningham toes the hill with Carrillo, Schwartzberg, and Audet coming to the plate here in the bottom of the first. We thank you for joining us on the SLO Blues streaming network. Just set for the Blues' first defensive pitch here from Ullman Stadium. Cunningham buries his face in his black glove and comes home. Carrillo takes a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. Is 0-1. This past year at the University of Washington, Cunningham had a 4.56 ERA in 53 and a third innings pitched. His 0-1 is outside and high, 1 ball and 1 strike. He was a flex arm, 21 appearances for the 53 and a third innings. He had 4 saves, but also started 2 games. And here with the Blues short on pitching on just a couple days rest, he gets the start. 1-1, and Carrillo takes the fastball outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitching depth is so tested right now for the Blues that they threw Luke Pemberton, the designated hitter, on the mound yesterday. And he worked a scoreless inning, but the Blues have a game today and games on Friday and Saturday as Carrillo tips that one back into the glove, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dean Trader trying to make things work here in this Wednesday road matchup against the Conejo Oaks. Cunningham into his windup. He deals. And Carrillo flies it out of play foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham had 39 strikeouts in those 53 and a third innings pitched. Gave up 5 home runs. But he'll pitch to contact. And that's what he looked to do today, wanting to be efficient to give the Blues as many outs and innings as possible with the pitching depth being so low. He has a leadoff hitter 2-2. He shakes twice and now has the sign he wants, and time is called. Carrillo reached base 4 times yesterday. He walked 3 times and singled back in the first. 2-2. And he takes the changeup low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. In total, Blues pitching walked 11 yesterday. Both teams, actually, walked 11 hitters at the plate. That's the big reason why there were so many runs scored throughout the bulk innings of the game. Payoff pitch. And Carrillo lines it back where it came from and up the middle, base hit. He points towards the Blues dugout as he rounds first with a leadoff knock. Carrillo doing everything you want a leadoff hitter to do. That's the 5th time he's reached. And we're just here in the first inning of the second game. And Cunningham stomps his cleats. It's a dark mound here, which makes me think it's a little overwatered and muddy, and it looks like it's getting caught in Cunningham's cleats. But after the single from Carrillo, it's Schwartzberg who comes up with a runner on. Cunningham works from the stretch for the first time and delivers. That's a foul out of play off the bat of Schwartzberg down the first base line. It's 0-1. The Oaks have won 8 of the last 9 versus the Blues. SLO jumped out to the lead, to the early lead here in the top of the first inning. And now Conejo a chance to answer back with the leadoff runner on. Long hold. Here's the 0-1. On the inside corner, strike 2 called. It's 0-2. Cunningham, a stun fastball there, just completely froze Schwartzberg on the inside corner. And he's got the advantage in the count, 0-2. Carrillo gets his lead off first, and Cunningham comes set, looks back there, and comes home. And Schwartzberg pops it up, foul down the first base line and out of play. It's gone from extra sunny, almost a little too bright here at Ullman Stadium, to complete cloud coverage above the field. Everything is gray right now above George Sparky Anderson Field. An 0-2 count on Schwartzberg. What's Cunningham going to? He deals, and it's the slider, and it's fouled straight back. So a good 0-2 pitch, but Schwartzberg proving to be tough to strike out, hitting .455 on the young summer. He also has a double for his lone extra base hit. And you see there, Cunningham still stomping his cleats, trying to get whatever it is at the bottom, most likely mud, off of his spikes. Still has an 0-2 count on the 2-hole hitter for the Oaks. From the stretch, he strides and shoots. That's a ground ball up the middle. Hardy dives, and it bounces into center field. Big turn from Carrillo. He's heading to third. The center fielder, Adams, has no play. Runners at the corners, and nobody out for Conejo. Looked like from here, Hardy had a chance to keep that one on the infield at the very least, but it bounced into center, and 2 straight hits have opened up this game for the Oaks, and now they bring up the 3-hole hitter, Max Audet. I'll say this about the Oaks. So far what we've seen is they are a team that can answer back quick. The Blues scored 2 in the top of the first, and now Conejo threatens to do the same here in the bottom half of the inning. Audet hitting .333 with 2 runs batted in, steps up. He swings at the first pitch, tops it towards first. The first baseman, Massiangelo, content with letting the run score, takes it to the bag himself. It's 2-1. So Cunningham gets his first out, but Carrillo comes in to score. And now a runner in scoring position. And the Oaks, just like that, put a run back on. Audet credited with his 3rd RBI of the summer on the fielder's choice. And now here's Zach Dode, the DH from Regis University. Cunningham just trying to keep the Blues in the lead. As he kicks and deals. And Dode wraps it towards short. In comes Hardy, looks to third, and then throws to first for the out. So Dode moves Schwartzberg up to third, but that is the second out for Cunningham. And with 2 away, here's Chris Wright. Wright hit the game's defining hit yesterday. A grand slam over the right field wall off of USC reliever Josh Blum. That put the Oaks up 7-3. The final score ended up being 9-6, but the Blues were never able to tie or take the lead after that big grand slam from Wright in a 3-ball bases-loaded count. And he looks at a fastball from Cunningham down low. It's 1-0. Tying run stands 90 feet away. It feels like this is what we were doing yesterday, where every time someone had a lead, runners would be on, a lot of traffic on the base paths, and the Oaks trying to tie it up. 1-0, and Wright takes a fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Cunningham had excellent control this past year at Washington, just 13 walks in 53 and a third innings pitched. His 2-0 is in there to right in line right at the third baseman Ricken. The soft liner collected by the Oregon hot corner player, and that's the final out of the inning. We head to the top of the second. It's 2-1 SLO. Due up for the Blues here in the top of the second with a 2-1 lead. It's Jake Bold, Sam DeCarlo, and Jariah Lewis up against Wes De La Torre, who gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in the first. He looks in at the catcher Bold and delivers. And Bold chops it towards short. In comes the third baseman Payton, who cuts off Schultz and throws across the diamond for the out. So Bold is retired on 1 pitch. And for De La Torre, that's a better start to this inning than last. After he got Lewis to pop out, it was walk, single, 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 pop out, and then another single before the out was recorded at home plate to end the inning. Here's Sam DeCarlo making his Blues debut, a .268 hitter in his freshman season at the University of Washington. Also had 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in. De La Torre comes home to the 9-hole hitter and misses outside with a breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. DeCarlo, the 5'9", 175-pound infielder from Long Beach, California, had the most at-bats of any freshman at Washington and played for them through the NCAA tournament as he takes a fastball outside, 2-0. In fact, he hit 2 home runs in 1 NCAA regional game versus Oral Roberts, and the Blues hope he can bring his hot finish into the summer here in SLO. 2-0. And DeCarlo takes it inside, 3 balls and no strikes. DeCarlo, one of a couple players from Washington joining this Blues team. Cunningham, the starting pitcher today from Washington, also a reliever who should come out later in this game, as here's the 3-0. And DeCarlo pops it up down the first base line. It's the right fielder Schwartzberg as the ball carries, who makes the catch for the second out. A 3-0 swing for DeCarlo and just a lazy fly ball to right field, and he's retired for the second out of the inning. Boston Workington is that reliever for the Blues who came from Washington, got in last night, and should be, we've been told, the first reliever out of the pen for the Blues today. So with 2 outs, here's Jariah Lewis in the top of the second. Lewis popped out to left in his first at-bat. 0-0. He swings and misses at the slider. It's no walls and 1 strike. Lewis is the guy that you want to reach base if possible with 2 outs. Already in just 3 games played, he has 5 stolen bases in CCL play. 0-1. And he takes that changeup outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. De La Torre looked easy to hit for the Blues in the first inning. They just had 4 straight rocket line drive singles. Just kind of looked like flick of the wrist hits. And here, he's gotten a quick 2 outs and deals another strike on the breaking ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bold grounded out to third. DeCarlo popped out to right. And now Lewis behind the count, 1-2. De La Torre from the stretch. He comes home, and Lewis takes the breaking ball down low. It bounces to the backstop towards the dugout for the Conejo Oaks. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, if Lewis were to reach, is Theo Hardy, who walked and scored a run in the first inning. Wind picking up behind Lewis, flying out to center field. Here's the 2-2, and he takes it outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lewis has 2 walks in his first 3 games in league play, hitting just under .270. He's 3 for 12. Good for a .250 batting average. Payoff on the way. Here it comes. And Lewis strikes out swinging. A 1-2-3 inning for De La Torre in the second. As we head bottom 2, it's still 2-1, San Luis Obispo. 1.5. The Blues lead it by a score of 2-1, and Grant Cunningham is back out on the hill to face Eli Payton, Bennett Markinson, and Taylor Schultz here in the bottom of the second. The Blues had 4 hits in the first inning and went 1-2-3 in the second. So now Cunningham looking to have a quick inning of his own, looking in at the third baseman from GCU. And he deals a strike with the fastball. It's no balls and 1 strike. Cunningham puts his hands up real high and then pulls them down to block his face with that black glove. Deals the breaking ball, and Payton fouls it off his own foot. 0-2. The black glove, too, not a hole in it. It's completely black and then has a full rectangular webbing, so you can't see even a centimeter of the baseball as he fiddles with it in his glove. Looking for his first strikeout. He deals 0-2, and that's a base hit into left field for Eli Payton. 2-strike count. He got the fastball and punished it to left, and another leadoff base runner for the Oaks. There was a story yesterday. The Oaks just always seem to have base runners on against the Blues, and it was oftentimes the leadoff hitter that did the damage. In fact, both of the first 2 innings yesterday and the third, it was almost every inning in which the leadoff hitter reached for the Oaks yesterday. Oh well. And that's chopped towards second. Long run for DeCarlo, who has to go to first after how far he had to range for that ball. But that gets the first out as Payton moves up to second. So a chopped ground ball for Markinson in his first plate appearance of league play. And he's retired, and here comes Taylor Schultz with a runner in scoring position. We mentioned Cunningham's not a guy that has a ton of strikeouts. He'll pitch to contact. I'm sure he's still wishing he could have a redo at that 0-2 pitch to Payton that was the single to left. Here's Schultz, who's 1 for 3 with 4 runs batted in, the shortstop from Georgia State. And he lines that one back to the screen. It's 0-1. The Blues versus the 2022 CCL runner-up, the Conejo Oaks. And a team that was a thorn in the Blues' side all of last summer. Knocked them from the playoffs and won 7 out of 8 games the Oaks did against the Blues. Cunningham looks to second and comes home. Spots up with a fastball, no balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham's got the juice behind the fastball. It's just a matter for him of finding that put-away pitch today with 2 strikes. 0-2 on Taylor Schultz. Cunningham looks at the runner and deals. Fastball poked out of play down the right field line, still 0-2. The runner is Payton, who stands at second. He's now 3 for 5 with 2 walks so far this summer. Cunningham bent over in the stretch, searching for his sign from Bold. He's got it. Comes set, black glove held at his navy belt. The 0-2 is in the dirt and chopped towards short, and it bounces off of the shortstop, Hardy. An error for the shortstop, and another 0-2 base runner for the Oaks. Runners at first and third with 1 away. Tough play for Hardy. He got a high hop as he was charging it and just couldn't corral it with his glove. And another gift for the Oaks. The Blues did not play their best defense yesterday. And you could argue that the 2 errors in the game were the difference and the reason the Blues ended up losing that game. Now they'll have to battle around it as Cunningham looks in at the 9-hole hitter Carson Falskin with 2 runners on. He deals, and Falskin takes a fastball low, 1 ball and no strikes. Falskin still looking for his first hit of the summer. He's 0 for 8 with 2 walks since CCL League play started. It's Payton at third. He singled. Schultz just reached on the air by Theo Hardy. 1-0. And Falskin takes the fastball, called strike 1. It's 1-1. Always tough as a pitcher to work around an error behind you and to do that as well with a runner in scoring position. It's a tough task for Cunningham if he wants to keep the Blues in front. 1-1. Falskin takes a changeup outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cunningham, a Seattle native, playing for the hometown team. The Huskies, shakes his sign twice and now picks the one he wants from Bull. 2-1. Falskin takes it outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. If Falskin were to walk, it would load the bases for Austin Carrillo, the leadoff hitter, who's now reached base 5 times in this series, singled and scored in the first inning. The 3-1 offering. Runner on the move. Falskin beats it foul down the first base line. So the count moves full. The runner from first, Schultz, has to retreat back to his bag. And Cunningham will think extra long and hard about what he wants to throw in this 3-2 count. If Falskin, or if Schultz from first runs again, it would be hard for the Blues to turn a double play unless it's absolutely tailor-made up the middle. We'll see if he goes. Schultz at first. He doesn't. Here's the pitch. And Falskin pops it up into center. Could be deep enough to score Peyton from third. Adams makes the catch. A lofted throw to second. This game is tied on the sacrifice fly from Carson Falskin. So Falskin battles up and does his job in a 3-2 count. And now here we go again. We're tied here at Ullman Stadium in the bottom of the second. Almost an exact rematch of yesterday. Whoever has the lead isn't going to have it for long. The Blues jumped out 2-0 here early and single runs in each of the first 2 offensive frames for the Oaks. And they're not done yet. Austin Carrillo comes up. A single and a run scored back in the first. Cunningham delivers and misses outside with that fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Carrillo, the center fielder from Biola, stands 5'11", 185 pounds. As Cunningham looks in at the lefty, stares back at first. That's where Schultz is, and comes home 1-0. Carrillo rips it to first base, right into the glove of Matt Massiangelo. Cunningham gets the line drive out, but the Oaks get another run. We head through 2 innings to the top of the 3rd inning. It is 2-2 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top side of the 3rd here on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's Theo Hardy, Corbin Ibarra, and JT Rickendu up as the Blues now look to retake the lead. After they scored 2 in the first, the Oaks have responded with single runs in the first and second. And now in the top of the 3rd, the left-handed hitting shortstop steps up and takes a changeup for a strike. Hardy, in his first at-bat for the Blues back in the first inning, walked, came around to score one of the 2 runs that the Blues put on the board. Second chance against De La Torre, and he swings and misses at that changeup, 0-2. De La Torre has looked like a completely different pitcher since stepping on the mound in the second. He gave up 4 hits back in that first inning, only got out of it because a runner was thrown out at home, but he went 1-2-3 in the second and misses upstairs here in an 0-2 count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Four hits for the Blues, 3 hits so far for the Oaks, and what's already been a back-and-forth game. As Hardy takes the slider off his shin, he bat flips in the air and takes first base with a leadoff hit by pitch. Hardy's been on board for free in each of his first 2 Blues plate appearances. And now with the runner on, here's Corbin Ibarra.
Now batting number 31, right fielder, Ullman Stadium.
Ibarra singled and scored in the first. He started the line of 3 straight singles for Blues hitters. The Blues put some signs on with the speedy Hardy at first base. De La Torre from the stretch deals in, and Ibarra pops it up. Out goes the center fielder Falskin, the second baseman Falskin, and it drops in front of Carrillo, the center fielder. Throw goes to second. Hardy dives back in. The second baseman Falskin had me deked. I thought he was going to catch that ball, but it falls into center field for Ibarra's second straight base hit.
Now batting third baseman number 8, JT
JT Ricken comes up now, and the Blues in business here in the third already. It was the hit by pitch to Hardy with 2 strikes. Ibarra popped up the first pitch, but gets the bloop knock. And now Ricken comes up after he singled back in the first. 0-0. And Ricken takes a fastball for a strike. JT, that single back in the first was his second hit in league play. The first one came in that first game against the Santa Barbara Foresters. 0-1. And Ricken flies it out to right center field. Who's it going to be? The center fielder Carrillo calls off the right fielder Schwartzberg and makes the catch. Hardy tags for third, and he's in there standing. Productive at-bat for Ricken, who moves up Hardy to third base. And now the go-ahead run stands 90 feet away for TJ Adams.
Now batting center fielder number 12, TJ Adams.
We're right behind home plate here on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's hard to tell with depth perception if these fly balls are deep enough or not to allow runners to tag. Off the bat, I didn't think that Hardy was going to be able to make it to third on that fly ball, but he does, and now Adams, with a similar fly ball or maybe a ground ball, could score a run. De La Torre comes home, and Adams bends back out of the way of that one. 1 ball and no strikes. Adams singled back in the first inning, got behind in the count, 0-2, battled his way through the at-bat, and was able to place a ground ball into left. One-0. And Adams chops it foul towards and into the dugout for the Conejo Oaks. 1 ball and 1 strike. We talked yesterday, there is no fencing to protect players in either dugout. So any ground ball you see like that, someone's jumping out of the way. And no one's hurt down the third base line. A 1 ball, 1 strike count with Hardy at third. Here's the pitch. And Adams pops it up. First base side, the right fielder Schwartzberg battling around in the gray sky and makes the catch. Hardy tags from third. Here's the throw to the plate. Hardy is in standing. It's 3-2. 2 sacrifice flies in a row for the Blues. Move the runner to third and bring him in. And the Blues lead it once again. 3-2 here in the top of the third inning. And the depth perception messing with us again. It looked like a pop-up off the bat, but ended up deep enough, and Hardy shows off the speed. Didn't even need to slide into home plate. Adams credited with an RBI. That's his second. And now here comes Luke Pemberton, who popped out to the catcher Markinson back in the first inning. De La Torre a long hold. Here's his 0-0. And Pemberton cracks it in the air to left field. Going back is Audet. He's chasing it to the warning track to the wall, and it bounces off the track. Here comes Ibarra all the way around first. He scores. It's 4-2 on the fly ball double from Luke Pemberton. Pemberton stays hot at the plate and puts the Blues up by another. Ibarra was on his horse around first base, and it seemed like the left fielder Audet just never fully tracked that ball right. 5 hits for the Blues, and they've scored 4 runs. Massiangelo comes up now. He had an RBI single back in the first inning. Could have had 2, but Ricken was thrown out to end the inning. 0-0. He takes the changeup outside. The Blues seeing De La Torre well in the first and third innings. In the second inning, just a 1-2-3 inning. A little bit of a blip on the offensive radar for the Blues. But Massiangelo, who came through in his first Blues at-bat, gets another chance here to bring in a run. 1-0. And Massiangelo swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 big doubles for Luke Pemberton in each of his last 2 games at the plate. DHing today, I was talking to him about that, and he says normally he's a guy where DHing is a little bit harder for him to stay focused at the plate. But here in summer ball, it's easier, and he appreciates the opportunity just to hit without having to think too much about it. Throw down to third as Pemberton's trying to take the bag, and he is tossed out by Markinson. The Blues score 2 more as we head to the bottom of the third. It's 4-2 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
It's the home half of the third inning here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom 3, Zachary Schwartzberg, Max Audet, and Zach Dode coming up for the Conejo Oaks as they trail now by 2 runs. The Blues adding 2 more off of De La Torre in the top half of this frame. Big RBI double from Luke Pemberton in there before he was thrown out trying to steal third as Schwartzberg steps in against Cunningham after singling in the first. Cunningham delivers, and Schwartzberg rolls it on the ground to second. Easy play for DeCarlo, who has to move back into the outfield grass before slinging it to first for the out. 1 pitch went out in the fourth, and that's been the recipe of success for Cunningham, who finally gets the leadoff hitter out here in the third inning. Cunningham trying to be efficient and give the Blues as much length as possible with the pitching depth tested here in San Luis Obispo. And in the road games this week, where this is the second of 4 games the Blues play on the road, they'll need all the help they can get on the mound. Cunningham comes home, and Max Audet rolls it over to second. Another play for DeCarlo, and there's 2 away. Well, a 1-2-3 inning would be nice in that quest to try and go deep into this game. I can almost guarantee you're going to see Zach Dode take a pitch right here. The Oaks are keeping DeCarlo busy here so far through the third. And Zach Dode, who grounded out to short in his first at-bat, steps in, the DH from Regis University. Here's the 0-0 from Cunningham. And Dode does take a fastball in there for his strike. It's 0-1. Dode hitting just under 300 with a home run, 5 runs batted in so far this summer. 0-1. And he takes another fastball, strike 2 call. And now Cunningham a strike away from getting through the third and getting the hot, slow offense right back into the dugout. Dode takes a deep breath, shrugs his shoulders as he stares at his tan bat. Cunningham menacing from the windup, kicks and deals. And that's tapped towards third. Here's Ricken. He throws it across the diamond in time for the out. A 5-pitch inning for Grant Cunningham. Exactly what the doctor ordered for San Luis Obispo. Through 3, it's 4-2 Blues. We're a third of the way through this CCL South battle. It's the first place Oaks at 3-0 versus the 1-2 San Luis Obispo Blues, and the Blues are on top here a third of the way through this one. It's 4-2 on the SLO Blues streaming network, and the Blues bring up the bottom third of the order. Matt Massiangelo, Jake Bold, and Sam DeCarlo here in the top of the fourth inning against Wes De La Torre, who stays out on the mound. The Blues have 6 hits through 3 innings against De La Torre. They've scored 2 runs apiece in the first and the third innings. Here's Massiangelo, who was at the plate when Pemberton was thrown out to end the third. The 0-0 from De La Torre. And Massiangelo nubs it, a little soft liner to second base, right at Falskin for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out, as De La Torre tries to match the 5-pitch inning from Grant Cunningham. Everyone here, especially I would assume for the Blues, who have still a long bus ride home after this, would appreciate some quick work from the pitching. Here's Jake Bold, who grounded out to third in his first at-bat. The 0-0. And Bold takes a slider for a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike. Top of the fourth, 1 out. The Blues looking to avoid losing their second straight game for the first time this year. The 0-1. And Bold takes a fastball inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. An excellent responding team. That's what the Blues have been so far this summer. Trying to do so again against Conejo, a team that's plagued them across the last 2 summers. That fastball is up high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Bold, the lone freshman to hit above 300 at Princeton this past year. He saw Matt Spear catch the last couple of games, but now he's right back behind the dish. He reached base 3 times in the Blues CCL opener against the Foresters. Ahead in the count, 2-1, as De La Torre catches his breath, now delivers. And Bold takes the fastball in the left-hand batter's box, 3 balls and 1 strike. The best part, I think, for Bold about the opener against the Foresters, he also stole a bag, so drop all your stereotypes about catchers. They can run. As here's the 3-1. Bold rips a liner down the left field line, base hit. This could be extra bases for the catcher for the Princeton Tigers. It bounces up off the left field corner, and Bold, who took a big turnaround second, is in with a 1-out double. So Bold finding his swing since league play has started. He puts himself in scoring position for Sam DeCarlo with 1 out. That's just how this game has gone so far for the Blues. They're really seeing De La Torre well. Even in counts that don't favor the Blues, the fastball is just hanging up there, and they're being able to wait on it and just punish it into the outfield. A lot of those liners that are falling within the first couple feet of the outfield grass. Here's DeCarlo, who popped out in a 3-0 count in his first at-bat. And he takes that fastball way inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bold's first extra base hit as a Blue, and he put himself in scoring position with 1 away as the Blues try and extend their lead here at Ullman Stadium. 1-0. And DeCarlo cracks a fly ball to left. Going back is the left fielder, Ade. He looks up. It is gone. Sam DeCarlo with a big fly to left for his first homer in his first game as a Blue. It is 6-2. DeCarlo hit 7 home runs as a freshman for the Huskies, and he left no doubt on this fly to left. What a shot for the Husky freshman. So the Blues extend their lead, 2 straight extra base hits, and now back to the top of the order in Jariah Lewis. De La Torre trying to collect himself. That was the 8th hit he's given up, and we're here still in the 4th inning. He misses upstairs to Jariah Lewis, who he's gotten out twice. A pop-up back in the first and a strikeout. The lone K of the game for either side in the second. 1-0, and Lewis takes the fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 3 home runs now for the Blues this summer. It was Lewis who hit the first back in his excellent debut at Sinsheimer Stadium. 2-0, and Lewis takes the fastball for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Massiangelo started the inning off with the soft line drive. Since then, the double by Bold and the homer by DeCarlo, his first hit and home run in his first game for the Blues. 2-1, and Lewis takes a high curveball outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Lots of hits early here for San Luis Obispo as they look to get on top of Conejo in game 2. 3-1. And Lewis pops it up the other way. This could fall. Foul. The third baseman, Peyton, was playing off the line, and Lewis, with his speed, might have had a chance at a double with that soft sinking pop-up down the left field line. As something fell into fair territory, and whoever's on deck, it's Theo Hardy, goes to pick it up. Looks like he's got a massive rock. It looks like, though, a perfect rock if you were going to rock skip, but no idea what that was doing on the infield grass. And now a 3-2 count on Jariah Lewis. Here's the payoff from De La Torre. And Lewis takes the fastball inside and draws a walk. 3 straight base runners for the Blues with 1 out. That's just the second walk afforded by De La Torre, but that makes it the 10th base runner the Blues have had. And there's only 1 out here in the 4th inning, and we're going to get a quick meeting at the mound with the right-hander from Oxnard Community College. The double from Bold and the home run for DeCarlo have put 2 runs on the board here for the Blues in the 4th inning. It is the 3rd inning here in just the first 4 in which they've scored multiple runs. And the Oaks have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. This could just be stalling to get that arm in before De La Torre gives up any more runs. But DeCarlo, we talked about it his first time up. 2 home runs in 1 game against Oral Roberts in the NCAA tournament. Talking about the Blues who want him to continue that streak here in San Luis Obispo, and he's doing just that, a home run in his 2nd at-bat as a SLO Blue. Here's Theo Hardy, who's reached in his first 2 plate appearances for the Blues this summer. A walk and a hit by pitch, and he scored 2 runs. Oh, he takes a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis, 5 steals so far through 3 games in league play. He stands at first. Sizable lead for the San Jose State Spartan, and a pick goes there. You saw that Lewis, on that start of the pickoff move, flinched a little bit towards second. I wonder if he goes here to try and put himself in scoring position with 1 out for his Spartan teammate. Here's the 1-0. Lewis doesn't go, and the fastball is a little bit low, 2 balls and no strikes. The shot from DeCarlo has put the Blues up by 2 more, and they're still trying to add here in the 4th before De La Torre is pulled from this game. Hardy ahead in the count, 2-0. He lets a fastball go by, and it's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Hardy, all Mountain West first team this past year, as the Spartans ended up winning the Mountain West tournament. De La Torre's 2-1. Lewis bluffed as if he was going to run, and then retreated back, 3 balls and 1 strike. Not a whole ton of urgency in the pen for the Oaks with the right-hander warming up, but it could be because he's already ready. 3-1, and Hardy takes the fastball up high. 2 straight walks for the Blues with 1 out. There's runners at first and second. Here comes Corbin Ibarra, and here comes another meeting at the mound. Might be the end of the day for De La Torre, who just did not have his best stuff today. Gave up 8 hits. He's walked 3. And he did not get out of the 4th inning. The call does go to the pen. The Oaks are bringing in a new righty. We're going to step away on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's 6-2. We're still here in the 4th.
some strange evolutionary process going on. But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
New righty in for the Oaks, who had to go to the pen here in just the top of the fourth inning. It's Brett Edwards, the arm coming in relief of Wes De La Tour, who allowed 11 base runners and only got a total of 10 outs. Not the way you want to leave a game, with more base runners allowed than outs gotten. But Brett Edwards is the new arm, undecided where he's going to school next year, but stands 6'5", 220 pounds, and hails from Santa Monica, California. This inning has been a good one for the Blues, and they had a lot against De La Tour. Right now, the scoreboard reads 2 runs scored in 3 of the first 4 innings, but the Blues aren't done here in the fourth. The double from Bold was followed by a home run for Sam DeCarlo in just his second Blues at-bat. Since then, 2 walks have allowed Lewis to reach second base and Theo Hardy to reach first. Here's Corbin Ibarra with first and second, 1 out. He stares out at the new right-hander as Edwards comes into his set. Looks to second and comes home. Lewis takes off for third. Runner right behind him is Hardy, and they double steal second and third with 1 out. Lewis got a walking start into that lead, and as the fastball missed up high, the Blues were able to steal 2 bags and put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. 6th steal so far in the summer, and just the 4th game for Jariah Lewis, causing havoc on the base paths. And Ibarra tried to cause some havoc to that baseball, swung and missed, and it's 1-1. Lewis did the same thing yesterday where he just started to go early and the pitcher never realized it, and he took the base with ease. 1-1 on Ibarra. Edwards strides and shoots, and Ibarra bends back out of the way of that breaking ball, and it hit him on the elbow. Bases loaded with 1 out for the Blues on the hit by pitch. You could hear it from here. It just caught the elbow protector. And Corbin Ibarra laughing at first base with a free 90. And now here is JT Ricken with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Edwards comes home, and Ricken takes the fastball up high, 1 ball and no strikes. It's Lewis at third, Hardy at second, Corbin Ibarra at first, as the Blues really try and make this inning hurt for the Oaks. Edwards comes set with the bases loaded, and now comes home. Ricken flies it foul down the first base line, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ricken is 1 for 2. He singled in the first, flew out in the third. He was the runner that was thrown out to end the first inning at home plate. One on the way, and Ricken pops it up, back and out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Oaks have been such a thorn in the side of the Blues that getting out to a huge lead would make the Blues feel extra comfortable. Talked with Luke Pemberton yesterday. He said the Blues last summer always just found a way to lose a game to the Oaks. Trying to avoid that here today with a 4-run lead. Ricken chops it to third. It bounces low on the third baseman Payton, who goes across the diamond to get Ricken by a step for the out. Another run comes in to score. It's 7-2 on the RBI ground out from Ricken, but there's 2 away. That was a tough play for the third baseman Payton. It looked like it was going to be a big hop, and then the last one, as he was backing up, came low towards his shins, and he got it on the backhand in a weird angle, and that caused him to only be able to have a play at first. Here's TJ Adams, second and third, and he takes the fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Adams has RBIs in each of his first 2 at-bats, singled in the first, hit a sacrifice fly in the third. Here's got a 1-0 count and another chance to add to the RBI total. He laces a ground ball towards short. It's an easy play for Schultz on the forehand, who throws across the diamond in time to get Adams. But the Blues strike for 3 more. A big home run from Sam DeCarlo capitalizes the inning. As we head to the bottom of the fourth, it's 7-2 San Luis Obispo.
The fact that you and I are working here today is evident.
Well, if you feel like you've only been seeing the Blues on offense, it's kind of because you have. Grant Cunningham had a 5-pitch inning back in the bottom of the third, and then the Blues exploded for 3 more runs, including the Sam DeCarlo home run on offense. And it feels like it's been a while since the Blues were out on defense. And now Cunningham is back out here in the bottom of the fourth. He'll face Chris Wright, Eli Payton, and Bennett Markinson. And the first batter grounds it onto the dive of Massiangelo, the first baseman. Throw to first in time. Awkward play for the Blues' new first baseman, but he makes it with ease. And with 1 pitch, again, there's 1 out. That was Wright who hit a rocket on the ground to first base. And Massiangelo, showing off the glove in his Blues debut, gets the out on the first pitch for the Blues. Good job from Cunningham to get over as well to cover first base. Got there just in the nick of time, and now he looks in at Eli Payton. The pitch is a fastball in the outside corner, and Cunningham has hit his groove. Starting in the third inning, he got outs on the first 2 pitches on the ground, and then got a 3-pitch out of Zach Dode, the shortstop. That's a liner down the right field line, but way foul. It's no balls and 2 strikes. The batter is Payton, who singled and scored. He led off the second inning with that base hit and scored the second of the 2 runs that the Oaks have on the board. The Blues have separated, and now Cunningham has a big lead. Payton rolls it on the ground towards second. In comes DeCarlo, who's just about a foot away from Massiangelo as the underhand flips for the second out. Well, this is what you want to see out of Grant Cunningham if you're Dean Trainer. The Blues, as we've mentioned, starved for pitching at the moment. And he worked a 5-pitch inning last inning. He's got outs, 2 outs in his first 4 pitches here in the fourth. And now he goes to work against Bennett Markinson, the catcher. Cunningham working quickly, deals, and Markinson pops it up down the first base line. Hooking out of play past the bullpen for the Blues. And into the parking lot, it's 0-1. Cunningham threw 2 innings on Sunday against the Foresters. He's still throwing on short rest here today, and he deals another fastball. It's been all strikes these past 2 innings for Grant Cunningham. And this will be the 7th pitch of this inning. He delivers. That's a fly ball to right field. On his horse is Ibarra, ranging towards the gap, and it's over his head and off the wall. Heading to second is Taylor Schultz, and he's in there with a stand-up double. An 0-2 mistake up in the zone from Cunningham is punished by the shortstop from Georgia State. It bounced off the wall, and Ibarra got the throw in. That was Markinson, not Schultz. So the catcher from Northwestern picks up the double. After Payton grounded out, a 2-out base hit for the Oaks puts a runner in scoring position. This is Taylor Schultz, the shortstop. As Cunningham works from the stretch, looks to second, now kicks and deals. And Schultz takes the fastball low, 1 ball and no strikes. That's the first ball that Cunningham has thrown in each of the past 2 innings. Five-run Blues lead. The runner at second is Markinson. The 1-0 is flown out to left field. This one's playable, though, for Jariah Lewis, who comes in, puts up the teal glove, and makes the catch for the final out. Another quick inning for Cunningham as he works around the 2-out double through 4. It's 7-2 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Blues back up in the top of the fifth with a 5-run lead, and Pemberton is due to lead things off, then Massiangelo and Bold against Edwards, who stays out on the mound for the Oaks. 0-0 to Pemberton is lined back to the screen on one hop. It's 0-1. The last time Pemberton came up, he hit a double off the left field wall. That was back in the third inning. Scored a run, put him in scoring position, and then he tried to steal third and was thrown out. But Pemberton seeing the ball well in each of his last 2 games at the plate for the Blues. 0-1. And Pemberton laces it to second. On 3 hops, it was right at the second baseman, Falskin, who comes up with it and makes the play at first for the first out. The Blues have scored in 3 of the first 4 innings in this game. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Highlighted by the home run by Sam DeCarlo, who stands on deck. Coming up right now, though, is Matt Massiangelo, the first baseman. Massiangelo is 1 for 2 with a single in his Blues debut. 0-0. That is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Edwards came in to get the final 2 outs. He hit Ibarra, but then got 2 ground outs. Got Ricken to ground out to third, and Adams to ground out to short. Right-hander with some ground ball stuff on the 2-seam fastball. 1-0. And Massiangelo takes it for a strike on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Massiangelo, who led the CSU Bakersfield Roadrunners in batting average, hitting .400, just 20 at-bats, but showcased what he could do with the bat as a two-way player. 1-1. And he takes another fastball, a little bit outside, and 2 balls and 1 strike. Massiangelo hails from Gilbert, Arizona. Played for the number 2 ranked junior college in the country as a freshman, Chandler Gilbert. There he hit .289, had 4 runs batted in 24 games. He chases this changeup down low, ends 2 balls and 2 strikes. First team All-State in Arizona at Seton Catholic Prep High School in Chandler, Arizona. Ended his senior year hitting .385 with 10 doubles, 16 runs batted in. Here the count's even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Edwards delivers. And Massiangelo pops it up. Past third base, out goes Schultz and Payton. It is Schultz who puts his hands up to make the catch. That's the second out of the inning, and up comes the catcher, Jake Bold, who hit a double down the line his last time up and reached base for DeCarlo, who homered on the next pitch. (7-2) Blues here in the top of the fifth. 8 hits already for San Luis Obispo, but Edwards is looking for the second 1-2-3 inning. He kicks and deals, and Bold takes the fastball upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Bold, 1 for 2. The double and the ground out to third. 1-0. And he inside outs a line drive towards right field and out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bold was a senior season captain at La Jolla Country Day High School. First team All-CIF in baseball. Has the best slugging percentage in program history after hitting 15 career home runs at the high school level. Here he rips a line drive down the left field line. And this one just a tad bit foul as he was off to the races. Might have had his second straight double. That one sounded weird coming off the bat. And it was just foul by a foot or 2. 1-2 the count on the Bridgeton backstop. Had a couple days off. Back in the lineup today for Dean Traynor. Trying to reach with 2 outs. Edwards readies up and comes home. Misses way outside with that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the fastball. So the program history leader in slugging percentage at La Jolla Country Day, which is known for its athletics. Bold looking for his first homer here in the summer after hitting 15 in high school. He takes time, steps out, readjusts the gloves, gets the hands on the handle, and steps back in the box. Standing center cut in that right-hand batter's box, he stares out at Edwards. 2-2 on the way, and Bold chops it foul. The Blues are 5-0 in Game 2s this summer and could be on their way to winning their 6th. It's 7-2 in the 5th, but as we've seen with the Blues and the Oaks in recent years, no lead is safe with Conejo across the diamond. The Oaks have won 8 of the last 9 games they've played versus the Blues. Another 2-2, and Bold pops it up foul off the screen. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blues went 1-2-3 in the second. That's the only inning in which they have not scored. As we talked about, 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. Yet another 2-2. And Bold takes it low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This season at Princeton, Bold walked 13 times in 34 games, but he's showing off a real nice eye here to start the summer. 2 walks in the CCL opener against the Foresters, and he has a 3-2 count here. The payoff pitch, and he takes a fastball. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. The Blues go 1-2-3. They still lead it by 5 as we head to the bottom of the 5th on the SLO Blues streaming network.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Home half of the 5th here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Your Blues still in front by 5, and it's 9-1-2 due up for the Oaks. Carson Falskin, Austin Carrillo, and Zachary Schwartzberg against Grant Cunningham, who's worked a real quick last 2 innings. He deals to Falskin, who lines a high fly ball down the right field line, but way foul. And the count 0-1. Falskin tattooed that one, break out the tape measure, but also measure how foul that was off the right field line. It would be a big number, the 0-1. And Falskin takes the fastball in there, strike 2 call. Cunningham had a 5-pitch inning back in the 3rd, and similar number of pitches in the 4th. Gave up the double, but worked quickly through the frame. As Falskin takes the changeup down low, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Falskin hit a sacrifice fly and picked up an RBI back in the 2nd. Cunningham from the windup delivers, and Falskin rolls it foul off the netting near the Blues dugout, still 1-2. The Oaks have scored 2 runs. Those came individually in each the 1st and 2nd innings. It's been the 2 shutdown innings for Cunningham, though, that have really been the difference in this game so far. Another 1-2, and Falskin takes the fastball out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham's gotten through the first 4 innings. He's allowed 4 hits, hasn't struck out yet a batter. In fact, there's only been 1 strikeout on either side through 4.5. That's the big curveball, and it's outside and high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned coming into this game that Cunningham not the biggest of strikeout arms, but still a guy that would pick up just around 1 at least every 2 innings. But today he's pitching to contact. 3-2. And Falskin watches the changeup down low. A leadoff base runner here in the 5th on the walk from Grant Cunningham. Falskin worked his way back from 0-2 all the way to a walk. And now he's aboard as the lineup card flips over for the Oaks. Austin Carrillo coming up. A single and a lineout in his first 2 plate appearances here today. Carrillo got unlucky his last time up. Hit a liner right to the first baseman, Masiangelo. Might have scored a run back in the 2nd inning. But right to the big oven mitt of the Blues' new first baseman for the final out of that frame. Cunningham's 0-0 is down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Carrillo from Biola hitting .250 coming into this game, and he's just continued to hit against the Blues. He's reached base 5 times through the first 2 games between these 2 teams this summer. One out. And Carrillo flies it deep to left field. Lewis broke in a step and now braces back and makes the catch for the out. So Carrillo is retired for the 2nd straight time, and up comes Zachary Schwartzberg with 1 out here in the 5th.
Now batting, right fielder, number 23.
Schwartzberg is 1 for 2. He singled in the first. In fact, both Carrillo and Schwartzberg just jumped right on Grant Cunningham in the first inning. Since then, he's grounded out and now coming up for his 3rd time. 0-0. And Schwartzberg takes the slider low. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues' 2nd of 4 road games this week. We teased it earlier. But back-to-back days here in Thousand Oaks. And then this weekend, on Friday and Saturday, the Blues play in Orange County against the Riptide. And that's an overnight series. That'll be the first one for the Blues this summer. 1-0. Schwartzberg checks his swing. Did he go around on the fastball? Yes. 1 ball and 1 strike. A complete road week for the Blues. They played so many games early in the season at Sinsheimer Stadium that it almost feels weird to not be playing a game there all this week. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. The runner at first is Falskin after he walked. Cunningham delivers, and Schwartzberg takes it low. 2 balls and 1 strike. And it's 4 games on the road against 2 of the best teams so far in the South. The Oaks and the Riptide both tied coming into this game in first place with a 3-0 league record. Blues trying to hand the Oaks their first loss. 2-1 is on the outside corner, strike 2 call. Schwartzberg hitting around 500 this summer. His lone extra base hit was a double. That came in the games that the Oaks played against the Academy Barons. 2 late game wins for Conejo in those 2 games against the Barons. Here's the 2-2. Runner on the move. Fastball's upstairs. The throw from Bold over the head of DeCarlo and into center field. Falskin thought about taking off for third as the throw sailed high, but he stays there with a stolen base, puts himself in scoring position with 1 out. And on the fastball that was upstairs, the count moves full on Zachary Schwartzberg. Cunningham looking to avoid walking his 2nd of the inning. He stares in at his sign, and the 2-hole hitter for the Conejo Oaks. He nods. He has the one he wants. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Payoff on the way. And Schwartzberg tags it into right field, hooking towards the line. Ibarra gives it chase, leaps, and it's off his glove. near the 320 marker. Falskin coming around third. Here's the throw from DeCarlo. It's high. Bold spins, and they call him safe at home. Bold made a miraculous attempt to try and tag out Falskin coming in to score. Just couldn't clip a piece as Falskin slid in safe. It's an RBI triple for Schwartzberg, and it's 7-3. Corbin Ibarra gave that ball chase. He was playing off the line and dove at the last second, could not corral it. And the walk and the triple put the Oaks back on the board. And here's Max Audet trying to bring in another run with one out. Cunningham from the stretch comes home. And Audet swings and misses at the fastball, 0-1. Have not been a lot of swing and misses by the Oaks today. They're a team that so far, the scouting report, they put the ball in play, and with Cunningham's ability to pitch to contact, seems like the Blues are just all right with that today. 0-1. And Audet takes it outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And it seems fitting, the only walk by Cunningham in this game to Falskin to lead off the inning comes around to score. Here's a 1-1 count on Audet. The pitch, and Audet lifts it the other way into left field. Lewis is racing in. He slides, and it bounces off his glove on the backhand before the foul line. In comes Schwartzberg to score. There's no one at third base as Audet's in with a bloop double. Now the score 7-4, and 2 straight extra base hits for the Oaks have brought them within 3 runs. Jariah Lewis was playing deep, and that fly ball was slicing away from him. He slid at the last second, and it bounced off his backhanded glove, and it rolled an awful far away from him. But the run was coming in to score either way, as Dean Traynor now heading out to talk with Grant Cunningham with 1 out here in the 5th after a triple and a double and put the Oaks back on the board with 2 more runs. Traynor gets to the mound, speaking with the Washington right-hander with a right-handed arm warming up in the bullpen for the Blues. So Cunningham's going to stay out there. It's Audet at second. Schwartzberg and Falskin have both scored in this inning. The batter will be Zach Dode, who's grounded out to the left side of the infield in each of his 2 at-bats here today. Two runs across here in the inning for the Oaks. Trying to add more with a runner at second, 1 out. The pitch to Dode is a slider low, 1 ball and no strikes. The walk to Falskin started off the inning. Then Carrillo flew out to left. Since then, the triple on a 3-2 pitch, and Audet hit the bloop double to left. 1-0 offering on the way. And Dode rips it foul towards his own dugout, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cunningham trying to complete the 5th just 2 days after throwing 2 innings against the Santa Barbara Foresters. Pitching on short rest, a step up for the rest of this staff. Needs 2 more outs to get through 5. 1-1. And Dode rips a liner foul down the third base line, 1-2. Another dangerous swing of the bat for the Oaks. It falls foul by a foot or 2 right near the third base bag. And a 2-strike count now on Dode. This would be a good spot for your first strikeout if you're Grant Cunningham. Stares in at his sign, now he's got it. Black glove held at the navy belt on these new gray uniforms. 1-2. And Dode flies it foul, backing out of play. Cunningham did strike out 1 Forester in his 2 innings of work. Game he got the win as the Blues held on to win it in the end by a score of 5-3. That's their lone CCL win so far. They're 1-2 after dropping the first to the Foresters and the first here to the Oaks yesterday. Cunningham looks in, looks to second. Comes home, another 1-2. And Dode takes the slider in the dirt. Nice block by Bold, who had to drop to a knee to keep it in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dode, the DH after shortstopping yesterday from Regis University. The Blues have held him in check in this series. He was only hit by a pitch twice yesterday. He didn't have a hit, and he's 0 for 2 today. Two. Dode rips a liner off the glove of Ricken and near the third base coach's box. The shortstop Hardy out to corral it in the outfield, and the stop sign there, first and third with one out. Another hit for the Oaks. We'll see if Dean Traynor makes the call now. The tying run is going to be coming to the plate here in the fifth as Cunningham's given up 3 straight base knocks.
First baseman, number 32,
Chris Wright with a chance to have that big swing of the bat for the second straight game. Hit the grand slam yesterday. That was the finishing blow on the Blues. And now comes up first and third with one away. The pitch from Cunningham, and Wright tags into the gap in right center field. On his horse is Adams, to the wall and the track. He makes the catch as a basket catch. A run will come in to score on the sac fly as the throw comes off of the runner at first. Dode, who retreated all the way back, ends up at second base. What a nice catch by Adams in center field. Might have saved this game for the Blues. It's 7-5 with 2 outs. Wright sent the first pitch he saw to the deepest part of the yard, and I thought off the bat tied this game up with a 3-run homer. Instead, it's a sacrifice fly, and the batter will be Eli Payton with another runner in scoring position. He represents the tying run. Payton, the third baseman from GCU. 0-0. And Payton takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike one call. Payton is 1 for 2, singled and scored to start the second, grounded out to the second baseman DeCarlo back in the fourth. It's been a far more laborious inning here for Grant Cunningham than the third and fourth. 0-1, and Payton takes the fastball, again, strike 2 on the outside corner. Dode stands at second base. In the batter's box, Eli Payton, the potential tying run here in the fifth. Can Cunningham come up with that put-away pitch with 2 strikes? He looks at second, comes home. And Payton flies it out of play down the third base line, still 0-2. Not a single strikeout in the scorebook so far for Grant Cunningham, who's just 1 strike away from getting through the fifth inning and keeping the Blues in the lead. He aims and fires. And Payton spoils it again. High fastball sent back to the screen, still 0-2. Cunningham really trying to do battle. Bear down here with 2 strikes and 2 outs, a runner at second in the fifth. Digging for whatever's left in the tank. He's down the hill and misses low with a fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues entered the inning leading by 5. The Oaks have cut it to a 2-run lead and threaten to potentially add another run, maybe tie this game here in the fifth, with the left-handed hitting third baseman Payton at the dish. The Blues need whatever Cunningham has left. He comes home, and Payton pops it up. Third base side, Ricken into foul territory, and he calls for it and makes the catch. 3 runs for the Oaks, but Cunningham stops the bleeding there through 5. It is 7-5 San Luis Obispo.
destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Sam DeCarlo to lead things off for the Blues, who now lead by only 2 in the top of the 6th inning. The last time DeCarlo came up, he launched a home run to deep left center field to give the Blues a bigger lead. Here he takes a fastball from Edwards down in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. DeCarlo was a home run hitting machine at Washington, 7 on the year, 2 in the NCAA tournament, and already a home run in his first game with the Blues here this summer. 1-0 from Edwards. And DeCarlo cracks it towards short on a couple of hops. It comes up for Schultz, who slings across the diamond in time for the out. DeCarlo is retired, and with 1 out, the lineup card flips back to the top, and Jariah Lewis is coming up. Edwards worked a quick 5th. 1-2-3. He sent down the Blues, got a ground out, a pop out, and a strikeout. It was just the second of the first 5 innings that the Blues did not score, and now he's got a quick out to start the 6th, and he looks at Lewis for the first time. Lewis, who walked and stole a bag his last time up. He takes the changeup down low, 1 ball and no strikes. How will the Blues answer back after giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning? 1-0 the count on the leadoff man, Lewis, who's trying to get aboard. 1-0. Is low on the curveball, 2 balls and no strikes. Hitters count for Jariah Lewis, who's shown both power and speed. The ability to punish the ball is there for Jariah Lewis. 2-0. And he tries, fouls it off the mask of the catcher Markinson. 2 balls and 1 strike. Edwards pitched this past season at LA Valley Community College, tossed 28.2 innings, and had an ERA of 5.02. 2-1. Lewis chops it towards second on a couple hops into the outfield. Goes the second baseman Falskin before he whips it to first in time for the second out. So 2 groundouts for the Blues to start the inning, and they want to avoid going slowly here in the 6th. All the momentum right now is on the side of the Oaks after their 3 spot in the 5th. The batter will be Theo Hardy, who has reached in each of his first 3 plate appearances for the Blues a walk, a hit by pitch, and then another walk in the first 4 innings. He swings at the first pitch and pops it foul down the third base line, 0-1. Hardy, who was first team All-Mountain West and a big part of the NCAA tournament berth that followed San Jose State this past year, hit .329 with 2 home runs, 27 runs batted in. He takes the changeup out, 1 ball and 1 strike. Quiet day here at Ullman Stadium. Gray skies up above. 1-1. Hardy hits a high drive towards left field, but it's in the park for Aude, who makes the catch for the final out of the inning. The Blues go 1-2-3 again as we head to the bottom of the 6th. They need to be careful. Only a 2-run lead, and Conejo's got all the momentum. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's 2 runs. The Blues lead.
process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
The Blues turn to the bullpen in the 6th inning and making his Blues debut. It's the right-hander from the University of Washington taking over for his fellow Husky, Boston Workington, into his first game for San Luis Obispo in the summer. Workington, a sophomore from British Columbia, stands 6'2", 205, and attempts to work his way through the Oaks order. Misses with the fastball. 1-0 the count on Bennett Markinson, the catcher. Also due up in the inning, Schultz and Falskin. It's Workington versus Markinson to start the 6th. And that fastball is in the left-hand batter's box. 2 balls and no strikes. Workington only got in 2 innings this past year at the University of Washington as a freshman. He was injured, and he's still working back from injury, but providing the Blues with a little bit of length here today if he can, as he misses outside with that slider, 3-0. Told me this morning, at least his first couple appearances with the Blues, he'll be limited pitch count-wise around 30 pitches. 3-0 trying to find the zone. He bounces another one in the left-hand batter's box as a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. And once again, the Oaks will bring the potential tying run up with Markinson aboard. So Workington working out some of the jitters here to start the summer. And Jake Bold's going to go out and talk with the sophomore from Canada. In the 2 innings that he did throw for the University of Washington, Workington gave up 6 hits, walked 3, 7 earned runs. So a couple innings he wants to forget, but he's still working through getting back from injury. Told me he threw live at-bats late in the season for Washington against his teammates, but wasn't healthy enough to return to the game for the Huskies, and the Huskies ended up going to the NCAA tournament. So it was a lot of high-leverage situations. So he worked behind the scenes, getting ready to come back this summer. And making his first appearance, he comes in a big spot with the Blues up by 2, and the tying run comes up to the plate in the form of Taylor Schultz. Workington deals outside with that fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. The stuff is apparent. Hard fastball, wide breaking slider, but for Workington so far today, got to figure out the command. 1-0 pitch is a slider in there for a strike, and he might have crossed up Jake Bold. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bold caught that ball in an awkward spot. And Workington lucky he got the strike call in the inside corner. He nods for his sign, now comes set. Front foot slightly offset, he deals and misses outside. It's back to the backstop off the glove of Bold. And the runner from first, Markinson, moves up 90 feet as the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. It's one thing to miss to the backstop in the other batter's box with no one on, but now with the runner on base, Workington has to dial in the command if the Blues want to stay ahead of the Oaks here in the 6th. The 2-1 on the way, and Schultz takes the slider outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. A walk would put the tying run on base and bring up the 9-hole hitter Carson Falskin, who walked and scored his last time at the plate and hit a sacrifice fly in the first. Workington trying to re-enter the rectangle. 3-1. He does with a fastball right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if that lights a switch under the Canadian righty. Schultz grounded into an error in the second, flew out in the 4th. Payoff pitch is outside. That's another walk. 2 runners on for the Oaks with nobody out. So Schultz draws the base on balls, and now that does put the tying run on base. The go-ahead run will come to the plate in the 6th, and the Blues start to get someone warming up in the bullpen. Here comes Dean Traynor to talk to Workington. It's just a tough week for the Blues to be low on pitching. 2 road games to start the week, and then another 2 later this week against the 2 teams that are tied for first place in the South. Yesterday, while just trailing by 3 runs, the Blues had to turn to a position player, Luke Pemberton, who did work a scoreless inning, but in a situation like that where you're trying to come back, you would hope to have pitchers you can turn to. And here today, the Blues have a 2-run lead as they look for their first win against Conejo this season and look to break the losing spell that's been over them against the Oaks. And you don't want to have to turn to a guy in Workington to make his debut on a pitch count with a 2-run lead in a close game, but the Blues don't have many other options as Sam DeCarlo gives an emphatic chest pump to Boston Workington, those two teammates at Washington. And now Workington turns his sights to the 9-hole hitter Carson Falskin with runners at first and second, nobody out. The Oaks a chance to tie this game back up here in the 6th. Everyone's ready. Double play defense set up for the Blues as Dean Traynor retreated back to the dugout. Here's the 0-0 to the left-handed hitter who squares to bunt and bunts it foul down the third base line, 0-1. That's a gift if you're Workington. He's struggled to be around the zone, and the Oaks give him a strike. We'll see if they attempt to bunt again with Ricken playing near the infield grass. Workington comes set. Black glove held at his navy belt. He looks a second, brings it home. Another square to bunt, and that fastball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Workington was ranked as a top 10 prospect coming out of British Columbia. Went to Washington. Previously, as a high schooler, played for the Canadian junior national team. 1-1. Falskin takes the fastball a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike. The arm talent is most certainly apparent for Workington, trying to re-find his former self coming back from injury. He's burning through pitches here in his first appearance. 2-1. Falskin squares again, taps it off the plate and back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Falskin can't get the bunt down. And now you have to assume the sign is off for the Oaks. They were trying to put the potential tying run in scoring position. It would have just been with 1 out, so Workington might have dodged a bullet there, but he still has to retire Falskin here. 2-2. It's in the dirt. Nice block by Bold as Workington shortened up on that fastball and missed off the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A walk would load the bases for the leadoff hitter, Austin Carrillo. Workington comes set, slings in the payoff, runners on the move, called strike 3 on the outside, and no one was covering second for the Blues. So the strikeout, but it goes down almost as if Falskin did get that bunt down. The double steal to perfection for Conejo, and the tying runs at second base. Back to the top of the order we go. That is the first strikeout by Blues pitching today, the first out in the 6th. Cunningham didn't strike out a single Oak through his 5 innings. And Workington gets the K in a spot he needed it. And this is a similar spot. Carrillo to the plate, 1 for 3. But he's hit the ball well all 3 times he's come to the plate. 0-0. Carrillo grounds it towards first. Massiangelo has it. Overhand flip to Workington covering in time for the out. A run comes in to score. It's 7-6 on the second out here in the 6th inning. Carrillo gets the RBI and brings 1 more run in. Now with 2 outs, the tying runs at third, and the batter will be Zachary Schwartzberg. Massiangelo has shown some great defense at first. Looks like a routine play from here, but that is a hard play for a first baseman to make. Didn't rush the throw either, as Workington got over to cover the 0-0, and Schwartzberg fouls it out of play. The Oaks looking to tie it up here in the 6th. The potential tying run 90 feet away in the form of Taylor Schultz. Schwartzberg has a single and a triple in today's game. He's also grounded out. 0-1. He bends out of the way of that slider that just misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Drama here at Ullman Stadium today on a gray day. It's been colorful action on the field. 7-6 here in the 6th inning. 1-1. And Workington misses inside again with the breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. On the right fielder, Zachary Schwartzberg, who is hitting now over 500 on the summer. And that fastball is out. 3 balls and 1 strike. A walk would put runners at the corners and bring up Max Audet, who blooped a double into left field in his last at-bat and came around to score a run. Workington trying to keep the Blues in front. His 3-1 is in there, fouled back into the glove of Bull. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Workington's got the swing and miss stuff. If he can place it in the zone, he might be able to get the final out of this inning and keep the Blues in the lead. He comes set from the stretch. Runner at third is Schultz. Kicks and deals. And that's top to short. Hardy has it, throws high, but Massiangelo keeps his foot on the bag for the out. Workington battles around the bases on balls and keeps the Blues in the lead. Through 6, it's 7-6 and Louis Obispo.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
New right-hander into the game for the Conejo Oaks. It's number 17, Cole Fisher, the sophomore from Millersville College. He enters the game with a 1-run Oaks deficit, and he'll face 3-4-5 for the Blues. Ibarra, Ricken, and Adams. Into his windup, Fisher delivers and misses inside with a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Ibarra at the plate has reached base all 3 times, 2 singles and a hit by pitch for the 3-hole hitter. He looks at the 1-0 fastball, high and out, 2 balls and no strikes. The Blues have been less than active these past 2 innings. They've gone 6 up, 6 down across the 5th and 6th. Ibarra looking to change things here with a 3-0 count. 2 runs for the Blues in the first, 2 more in the third, 3 in the fourth, but they've been held quiet since. But now with a chance at a new pitcher, Ibarra has a 3-0 count. Here's the offering from Fisher. It's in the zone. Ibarra let out some wood and misses it. 3 balls and 1 strike. Fisher works quick. He deals, and Ibarra takes the breaking ball down low. It's a walk, and Ibarra's reached in each of his first 4 at-bats.
Now batting, third baseman, number 8.
So with Ibarra at first, JT Ricken comes up. A single back in the first. Since then, he's flown out and grounded out. Ibarra's got good speed on the base paths. The Blues looking for any kind of insurance to add to this lead. Ricken takes the breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. 4 runs across the last 2 innings for the Oaks have made this game closer. The Blues at one point led by 5 and seemed very comfortable out in front as Ricken takes another strike, 0-2. But as we've talked about many times in this 2-game series, the Oaks battle the Blues very hard So the Blues trying to find a way to make this lead bigger. 0-2. Ibarra fake towards second and retreats. Ricken flies it foul down the left field line. TJ Adams is on deck, but first the cleanup hitter JT Ricken, a third baseman from Oregon who's 1 for 3. 0-2. And Ricken barely gets a piece and taps it foul. Still 0-2. Two strikes. Ibarra's at first. Fisher from the stretch. Barely comes set and strikes out Ricken on the slider. That's the first out of the inning, and with 1 out, here comes TJ Adams. It looked like the pitcher Fisher could have been called for a balk there. Barely came set before dishing it into Ricken. Almost a quick pitch, which is dangerous with a runner on base. But no call here at Ullman Stadium, and TJ Adams steps in with a runner at first and 1 out. The pitch is outside on the slider. It's 1-0. Adams is 1 for 2. He hit a single in the first, a sac fly in the third, grounded out to short to end the 4th inning. Cole Fisher comes home, and a perfect fastball over the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ibarra walked to start the inning. He leads off first. We'll see if there's any notion of sending him for the Blues to try and manufacture a runner in scoring position. 1-1. It's the curveball down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's still a very quick stop for Fisher, the pitcher. Here he takes a longer hold and dishes it 2-1. Adams breaks down his swing and goes around on the breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count on the 5-hole hitter for the Blues. TJ Adams from Arizona. 2-2. And the balk is finally called. Fisher didn't come set. The umpires recognized it, and they call the balk before he can deal the 2-2 fastball. Ibarra goes to second. And now I feel validated. I was not the only person seeing the minuscule set time for Johnson. Ibarra now in scoring position. The 2-2. Adams cracks a liner into right field, base hit. Ibarra heading to third. He stops there. First and third and 1 out for the Blues on the single from TJ Adams. So Adams comes through with another base hit. It's his second of the day after a tough day at the plate yesterday. And the batter will be Luke Pemberton with a chance to add another run for the Blues and a runner at third with 1 out. For Pemberton, the job is simple. Just try and bring in that 1 run from third. It seems silly, but 2 runs you'd be far more comfortable with than 1 with the way that the Oaks have been able to get on base. Runner takes off for second. Here comes the throw from the catcher, Markinson, and the Oaks had no idea, but Ibarra takes home. The shortstop, Schultz, I think thought they needed just 1 more out, and so he tried to get the tag on Adams. It's a double steal for the Blues. They do it for the second time in 2 days, and they take 1 more run to their lead. We talked about it yesterday. It's just a Little League play, but the Blues steal a run, and they've got a chance to add another with a runner at second and a 1-0 count. The pitch to Pemberton is in there. Strike 1 called on the outside corner. I don't know what the shortstop Schultz was doing. The throw went all the way down, and he tried to put the tag on to get Adams, but he tried to sell it too much that he allowed Ibarra to come in and score from third. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Ibarra comes in to score. The balk plays a big part in the run, and Adams gets the stolen base, stands 180 feet away from scoring another run for the Blues. Adams dances off, 2-1 on the way. Pemberton pops it up down the first base line, hooking over the Blues dugout, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now Pemberton has to battle up with 2 strikes, try and dunk something into the outfield to score Adams from second. Good speed for the center fielder. He takes off for third. Pemberton beats a ground ball towards second. The ball goes to Falskin. As Adams advances to third, there's the second out on the ground out. Adams was running, and Pemberton did his job to at least put it in play. And now it rests on Matt Massiangelo to try and bring in another run for the Blues. Massiangelo singled in his first at-bat as a Blue. Since then, he's lined out and popped out. Cole Fisher trying to keep it a 2-run game. He stares right at Adams at third and dishes it home. Massiangelo takes a fastball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues' left-handed hitters have almost completely erased the white chalk line at the front of that left-hand batter's box, and Massiangelo, learning about him in his first game, crowds the plate as a left-hand hitter. 1-0. He takes a fastball on that outside corner. 1-1. He can crowd the plate all he wants. Fisher is not afraid to go back there and fills it up with a fastball. 1-1. The first baseman from CSU Bakersfield trying to add another run for the Blues. 1-1. And he takes the changeup low. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Adams at third, who reached on the single, stole second, and advanced on the ground ball from Pemberton. The Roadrunner trying to add another for the Blues, with the defense playing him to pull on the left side. 2-1. Massiangelo takes the breaking ball, perfectly placed on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. If Massiangelo were to reach, it's the catcher Jake Bold on deck, who's got a double. He's 1 for 3. Fisher shakes, now has the sign he wants. First base side of the rubber, he kicks and deals. And Massiangelo takes the breaking ball in the dirt, back to the backstop. Adams comes in, it's 9-6. The count moves full, and Adams takes advantage of the wild pitch. The Blues back in front by 3 here in the 7th. The wild pitches were the difference yesterday for the Blues, allowing the Oaks to score 2 late runs that proved to be a big part of the difference. And here, the Blues take advantage of the ball in dirt. And now Massiangelo just trying to reach to extend the inning. The weight lifted off his shoulders. Payoff on the way. And Massiangelo pops it up foul down the third base line, still full. 9-6 now the Blues lead. They'd scored 2 more here in the 7th. The pitching change, not a good move for the Oaks so far. After the Blues are being shut down by Edwards, 2 runs allowed by Fisher. He deals 3-2, and Massiangelo taps it out of the glove of Markinson. The count still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wes De La Torre, the starter, allowed 8 hits and the first 5 runs. Edwards came in and he had worked really well through the Blues lineup. 2 straight 1-2-3 innings, and now Fisher has given up 2 more. And he's walked Massiangelo with 2 outs. A great at-bat for the first baseman, and he's aboard with 2 away. The batter will be Jake Bold, the catcher from Princeton. And you need the Blues to answer back to the Oaks scoring to tighten up this game a little bit more. And the Blues have done just that here in the 7th with 2 more runs. Game just passed 2 hours and 15 minutes. The scoring is still continuing today after yesterday. The score just flip-flopped on its head. The Oaks won 9-6 yesterday. Right now it's 9-6 San Luis Obispo in the 7th. Massiangelo runs it first. Princeton now. Jake Bold, the catcher, comes up. Oh, well. And Bold beats it into the ground towards third. In comes Peyton. Across his body, he throws and gets the out. The Blues add 2 more to extend their lead to 3. As we stretch in the 7th inning, it is 9-6 Blues.
I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Where the Blues go, close games follow so far in CCL play, and it's no different today in Thousand Oaks. It's 9-6 Blues through 6.5, and Boston Workington staying back on the mound to face 3-4-5 in this Oaks order. He deals to Max Audet, the left fielder, who takes a fastball low. 1 ball and no strikes. Workington labored through the last inning, only managed to give up 1 run, though, and he deals a slider in there to Audet, or a little bit low. The call. That looked like a strike on the outside corner, but the call is low. 2 balls and no strikes on Audet, who doubled down the left field line his last time up. 2-0. That's in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes. Workington walked the first 2 hitters that he faced as a Blue to start the 6th. Got a strikeout then. 2 ground outs. He deals in there 3-0 on the slider to make it 3 balls and 1 strike. Audet from LA Valley Community College doubled and scored that run in the 5th and takes a fastball low. He's aboard on the walk to start off the inning. The Blues have Matthew Gonzalez warming up in the pen, their closer, and that just might show you the limited option that the Blues have on the mound. They're warming up the closer in the bottom of the 7th, so they might ask Matthew Gonzalez, who is normally a starter, to provide a little length and maybe go for a 3-inning save here today. The batter now is Zach Dode after Audet walked. And the Oaks try and rally back down by 3. Workington from the stretch. Strides and shoots. And Dode takes a 2-seamer on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Dode, then right, and then Payton if the inning can persist for the Oaks. Oh, 1 on the way. And Dode takes the slider, crossed up, bowled a little bit as he couldn't find a way to glove that one. Make it 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blues have not lost 2 straight games this year. If they lose today, it would be the first time all summer they dropped 2 straight games. Trying to avoid that here at Ullman Stadium and get to 2-2 in CCL play. Dode flies it foul towards the parking lot and off of the gymnasium behind us here at Ullman Stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dark, gloomy day here in Thousand Oaks. The Blues trying to find a way to go home happy with a win over a team that's plagued them across the last 2 years. 1-2. He struck him out. Slider in the dirt, and Dode chased it and strikes out. The second strikeout for Workington, and there's 1 out. Dode came up with a look on his face of, what did I just swing at? And that's a good question. That pitch was in the dirt from a pitcher that had been wild so far, but Workington K's his second batter, and now if he can roll a ground ball, has a chance to get out of this 7th. The batter is Chris Wright, who hit a sacrifice fly maybe 390 feet to the wall in his last at-bat. 1 ball, no strikes on the fastball in the dirt. Workington just has not been starting off hitters the way I'm sure he wants to. He goes to the fastball with the first pitch, and it's been in the dirt a lot. Still trying to find trust coming back from injury. 1-0. Wright cracks a liner into right field towards the line. Ibarra cuts it off before it can get to the wall. First and second with 1 out after the base hit from Chris Wright. So that brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Eli Payton. And you wonder how much longer Dean Traynor can watch from the dugout without making a move to the pen. Eli Payton is 1 for 3, a single and a run scored to start the 2nd. Since then, he's grounded out and popped out. And the left-handed hitter steps in against Workington, who deals, and he grounds it foul. No balls and 1 strike. Workington 3 walks in 2 innings for Washington this year. The rest of his season was rehab and live ABs against his own teammates. 0-1. And Payton takes the slider low. 1 ball and 1 strike That was a perfectly placed pitch, but a good eye from the left-handed hitting third baseman from GCU. Workington looks to second, now brings it home. And Peyton takes the changeup low, 2 balls and 1 strike. It's been a tough game for Blues pitching. Cunningham and Workington, the 2 husky arms, just trying to labor through this game. 2-1. And Peyton lines it foul back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. If the Blues can somehow find a way to hold on and win this game, you have to give huge props to the 2 Huskies for putting everything on the line and give the Blues some length in this one with the pitching depth so starved. Workington looks to second, strides and shoots. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Didn't need to be a strike, but it was. And Workington has 2 strikeouts in the inning. That's his 3rd of his outing, and he's an out away from getting out of the inning. Peyton did not like the call on the outside corner. The slider just bit back over the outside corner at the last second. And now Bennett Markinson, who walked and scored his last time up, after doubling in the 4th, steps up. Workington delivers, and the catcher Markinson takes it outside. Markinson was the first hitter that Workington faced. That was back to start the 6th. Talk about a name matchup here. Markinson represents the tying run. 1-0. That's a perfect fastball from Workington on the top of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two runners on. It's Auday at second, Chris Wright at first. 1-1 on the way. And the catcher Markinson takes the slider for a strike. Bold seems to be having some trouble reading that slider out of the hand of Workington. I don't know whether he's crossing him up on the pitches or whether the gray sky and the leafy backdrop is messing with the eye line of Bold. Either way, a 1-2 count with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Workington looks to second, now slings it in. And just getting a piece at the plate as Markinson left the zone big time on that fastball. Caught a piece, it's still 1-2. Gray, gloomy day, but the Blues lead it by 3. Workington trying to keep it that way. Needs 1 more strike to get out here in the 7th. He delivers. And chopped foul again. The breaking ball just got a piece. 1 ball and 2 strikes still. Gonzalez paces around the pen for the Blues. His warm-up seems to be on hold for the moment, but with the pitch count that we've already talked about with Workington, this could be the last batter he might get to face today. 1-2 offering. He struck him out. The slider again as Workington strikes out the side, and the Oaks don't score. Through 7, it is 9-6 Blues. Don't go away. We'll be right back on the SLO Blues streaming network.
and I are working here today is evidence of that.
9-1-2 due up for the Blues, who nurse a 3-run lead here in the top of the 8th inning. It's DeCarlo, Lewis, and Theo Hardy due up against Cole Fisher, who stays out on the mound, working from the windup for the Oaks. Fisher gave up 2 runs last inning, trying to work a scoreless frame this time, and deals a slider into DeCarlo, strike 1. DeCarlo is 1 for 3 with that big home run back in the 4th. Knocked in 2 runs, himself and Luke Pemberton. 0-1, he takes another slider. This one's a little bit out, 1 ball and 1 strike. Fisher, the arm from Millersville College, gave up a couple of hits, a couple of walks last inning. 1-1. He misses upstairs with a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. But it was ultimately the wild pitch that allowed him to give up that last run and gave the Blues their 3-run lead. 2-1, and DeCarlo takes the slider that backed up on Fisher, 3 balls and 1 strike. The Oaks dugout doesn't like the call. They thought that was strike 2, but instead a 3-1 count on a dangerous hitter. The pitch, and DeCarlo pops it up into shallow center field. Here comes Carrillo, and it hangs up in time for him to make the 1-out catch. So for the first out of the inning, DeCarlo is retired, and the lineup card goes back to the top in Jariah Lewis. Lewis has walked and stolen a base, but he is 0 for 3. His last time up, he grounded out to second. Leadoff man trying to get on with the third baseman playing him close, watching the bunt. Lewis pops it foul. No balls and 1 strike. Boston Workington had one heck of an inning for the Blues in the 7th. Walked 1 batter, gave up a hit, but struck out the side. 0-1. That's in the dirt before home plate by about a yard. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Workington, who clearly wasn't dealing with his best stuff, still coming back from injury that he sustained this season with the Washington Huskies, was able to put that all behind him and strike out all 3 of the outs. And for the Blues, couldn't have come at a better time, too. We've mentioned that they need length from their guys. And after the 2-run inning, it was imperative that Workington was able to keep the Oaks off the board, and he did just that. 2-1, and Lewis takes a slider for a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. The leadoff man from San Jose State, 6 steals now on the season, would be a big guy for the Blues to get on. He swings at the 2-2 and lifts it on the left side. The third baseman, Peyton, calls for it as he crosses the line, heads back into fair territory. He makes the catch for the 2nd out. So with 2 away, here comes Theo Hardy, who finally was recorded out by the Oaks in his last at-bat. Flew out to left field in the 6th. Before that, though, he had walked twice and been hit by a pitch. 2 outs. And Hardy rips a liner into the right center field gap. It falls in front of Carrillo for Hardy's first base hit as a Blue. He's aboard with 2 outs. So a nice swing from Theo Hardy. He saw the first pitch up, and he decided, I'm going to swing at this one, and cracked it to right for his first hit. And a base runner for Corbin Ibarra. Hardy's a guy with speed as well, so the Blues might think about sending him to second if he can get a good enough jump. Ibarra at the plate. A walk, a hit by pitch, 2 singles. He's been on base all 4 times. Choking up about an inch, even with an 0-0 count. He takes a slider outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Ibarra's had 2 games that have just been so dominant for the Blues. Some other games he's struggled to get on base a little bit more, but as he waits for a 1-0, it's in there for a strike. He had that 3-hit game against the Mudcats where he reached base 5 times, and here he's reached base all 4 times he's come to the plate today. The lineup functions so well when Ibarra is able to get on base, hitting 3rd today in Dean Trainor's lineup. 1-1. He cracks a line drive back and out of play over the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count on Corbin Ibarra. The runner at first is Hardy. We'll see if he takes off with a 2-strike, 2-out. Here's the pitch. He does run. The slider is up high. The throw down to second is not in time. Hardy swipes the bag, puts himself in scoring position with a 2-2 count. Hardy gets credit for his first stolen base of the summer. And now he stands 180 feet away from adding some insurance for the Blues here in the 8th. Two balls, two strikes. Here it comes. Ibarra lines it into center. Heading back is Carrillo. He's on his horse, and it hangs up for the center fielder to make the one-handed catch. Through 7.5, it is still Blues by 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th, and the Oaks will bring up 8-9-1 in the order. Schultz, Falskin, and Carrillo due up when we come back on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the Blues. It's Matthew Gonzalez, the closer, coming in a little bit early this time to pitch the 8th inning. Gonzalez has thrown 2 innings in league play. He's given up 2 hits, walked 2, given up 1 earned run, but he got the save against the Santa Barbara Foresters. He leads the team this summer, including non-league play, with 4 saves. He's the only player that has generated 1 for the Blues. He leads the team in appearances. Now this will be his 7th appearance in the Blues' 13th game of the summer. He chats with Jake Bold on the mound as the Blues lead by 3 here in the bottom of the 8th. The Oaks are bringing up the bottom of the order. It's Schultz, the 8-hole hitter, Falskin, the 9th spot, and then back to the top of the order for Austin Carrillo. But a trusted arm coming into the game for Dean Traynor, and what is still a safe situation for Gonzalez. The batter, Taylor Schultz, who walked his last time up, he's also reached on an error today, and he has to jump back out of the way of that fastball. Headed back to the screen, 1-0. It's been a back-and-forth game, but the Blues have been on top for the most part. They lead it by 3, and Gonzalez looking to finish this one out. You assume he's going the last 2 innings for the Blues, and misses upstairs with another fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez was extra dominant in out-of-league play. He threw 7 1/3 innings, struck out 10, and didn't give up a single earned run. Here he misses with another fastball, though, 3 balls and no strikes. You'll see the fastball, the breaking ball, and the changeup, which is probably his best pitch. 3-0 on Schultz. Gonzalez delivers and misses up with a fastball, a 4-pitch walk to start the frame. How many times have we said that? The Oaks have the leadoff runner on. Schultz is aboard. He's walked in his last 2 plate appearances, and Carson Falskin, who has seen the ball well in this series, is coming up. A sac fly in the 2nd, a walk and a run scored in the 5th, and he struck out looking in the 6th. Gonzalez working from the stretch. He kicks and fires, and Falskin takes that changeup outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Blues trying to get back in the win column, even up their CCL record at 2-2 in Game 2 of this 2-game series. 1-0. Falskin again takes a changeup outside. 6 straight balls out of the pen for Matthew Gonzalez. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez did not pitch this past year for UC Colorado Springs after transferring in the offseason as he readies up and dishes the 2-2. Outside again, 3 balls and no strikes. He previously, though, graduated from Allen Hancock College, which is a 2-year university, was the 2021 Western State Conference North Pitcher of the Year, and pitched the 6th no-hitter in Allen Hancock history on April 24th, 2021. That was against Cuesta College, so he sure caught the attention of everyone in San Luis Obispo. A lot of Cuesta players started this early season with the Blues. 3 balls, no strikes after the talk with Massiangelo. The pitch is on the outside corner this time for a strike, 3-1. A walk would put 2 runners on for the leadoff hitter Austin Carrillo, who would be the tying run here in the 8th. Gonzalez looking to keep that from happening. He deals and misses upstairs with the fastball. 2 straight walks to open the frame. First and second, nobody out. The walk was not a big part of Gonzalez's game in non-league play, but so far since the CCL season has started, it's been more of an issue for him. In those 2 innings that he pitched against the Foresters, he walked 2. So now, without getting it out here, he's walked 4, only getting 6 outs in CCL play so far. He's one of those closers, at least so far for the Blues, that runners will get on, but he rarely allows them to score. Needs to do the same thing here if the Blues want to have a chance to hold on and win this game. The batter is Carrillo. Singled in his first at-bat. He's been tired the last 3 times. Gonzalez looks the runner back to second, now brings it home, and Carrillo takes the fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Carrillo's reached base 5 times across this 2-game set, but the Blues have handled him well through the meat of this game. It's only a matter of time till he breaks through, as he's trying to do here in the 8th. 1-0 is way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. It's Gonzalez or a position player for the rest of this game from what we've heard for the Blues. So no matter how deep he struggles here, not sure Dean Traynor has another arm to go to, but he's still going to go out and have a discussion. The manager for the Blues comes out of the dugout to talk with his right-hander, and we're going to step away here. Base 2 runners on, 2-0 the count, nobody out, as the Blues have a meeting at the mound. We'll be right back on the SLO Blues streaming network. Traynor departs, Gonzalez stays out, and it's still a 2-ball, no-strike count on the leadoff hitter Austin Carrillo, who represents the tying run here in the 8th. See if Dean Traynor could speak some words of wisdom into his right-handed closer, who looks to second and brings it home. Carrillo squares to bunt and takes the fastball past his elbow guard. 3 balls and no strikes. A walk would load the bases for Zachary Schwartzberg, who singled and tripled tonight. Got to bring it in. 3-0. He does at the top of the zone, and the count moves to 3-1. We'll see if Gonzalez trusts any of his off-speed stuff to go to it here to Austin Carrillo in a 3-1 count. Can't just keep laying fastballs in, although he needs to be in the zone. 3-1 on the way. It's a fastball, and it's poked into left field, base hit. The runner coming around to score is Schultz. Throw goes into the third baseman, Ricken. Station to station go the Oaks, and it's 9-7. Carrillo does his job. Gonzalez had to go to a fastball. He knew it, and he laced it into left field for his second hit of the day. Now the tying runs aboard for the Oaks in the 8th. So the first 3 hitters have reached base here in the 8th inning. 2 walks, and now the single from Carrillo. Schwartzberg coming up with 2 runners on, nobody out. The 0 to the right fielder, and Schwartzberg bends back out of the way of that breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues looking to avoid collapse here in the 8th. They've led at one point in this game by 5 runs, entered this 8th inning up by 3, and now the tying run on base in the form of Austin Carrillo at first. 1-0 is in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez just has not been in the zone since coming in the pen. Needs a strike here. Hitters count to a good hitter. 2-0. Fastball on the inner half for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez has to battle. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 runners on. His pitch is on the outside corner. Strike 2 call. So since a 2-0 count, he's thrown in 2 perfect fastballs. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the 2-hole hitter for the Oaks. The Blues trying to hand Conejo their first loss in CCL play. 2-2 on the way. That's a high drive to left. In the park, though, as it hangs up for Lewis. Lewis gets behind the ball, comes in, and a fake tag from the runner at second. That's Falskin. He stays at the second base bag. A non-productive out for the Oaks, and that's the first out recorded by Gonzalez. So that's a big get for Gonzalez. Not only to get an out and just get some legs under him here in the 8th, but to do it in a way that the runners don't advance. Now, with the kind of stuff he has, the slider and the changeup with that sinking fastball, he's always able to roll a ground ball, preserves the double play, and could get out of this inning with a ground ball. The batter is Max Audet. Here's the 0-0. And Audet laces a line drive down the third base line. Foul. 0-1. Audet has doubled. That was back in the 5th inning. Walked. And he also picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice back in the 1st. Looking for the big hit that could tie this game for the Oaks. Gonzalez looking to keep him from doing so. He looks to second, now brings it home. And Audet looks at a 0-1 slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez, 5'9", 175-pound redshirt junior. Graduated from Cabrillo High School a couple of years ago after pitching 3 varsity seasons there. 1-1. And Audet takes the changeup. A masterful take on the outside corner, and the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez was dominant at Allen Hancock, 1.45 earned run average and 37 1/3. He's been dominant so far for the Blues, but's run into some trouble here in the 8th. 2-1. Audet pops it up. Left field line. Lewis giving it chase. He dives, and it bounces under his glove. He loses it down the left field line. Falskin's coming in to score. Schultz is into third. It's a double for Max Audet, and it's 9-8. That's the second one of those that Audet has hit, slicing towards the left field line. Just a routine pop-up, but Lewis playing off the line, and with it slicing away, it falls for Audet. And now the tying runs at third, the go-ahead runs at second, and we're getting a pinch runner here at Ullman Stadium. It's number 11, Sean Blandino, who played center field yesterday. He comes in for Audet, the left fielder. Blandino's at second. The runner at third now is Austin Carrillo. You have speed at both second and third for the Oaks. And the batter is Zach Dode, who's been the hero here for the last 2 years. 2-1. Dode takes the slider for a strike. Second and third, 1 out. And Gonzalez trying to find a way to wiggle out of this inning and keep the Blues in the lead. 2 runs for the Blues in the top of the 7th, but the Oaks have responded here with 2 in the bottom of the 8th and can tie or take the lead. 0-1. Dode pops it up down the first base line. 0-2. Dode was 4th in the CCL in batting average last year. He was key in the 2 clutch wins that the Oaks pulled out early season against the Barons. A hit would potentially give the Oaks the lead here today. Infield's in for the Blues, trying to preserve the lead. It's a slider in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bold is working hard behind the plate to keep anything in front. The last thing you want if you're the Blues is for a run to come in to score on a wild pitch. Carrillo at third. Blandino, the pinch runner for Audet, is at second. Strikeout spot for Gonzalez. We'll see if he can spin it. 1-2. It's in the dirt again. Another great take from Dode. Showing his veteran presence, the DH from Regis University has evened up this count 2-2. If you're thinking about arm strength, the best arm for the Blues in the outfield is easily Corbin Ibarra, who stands in right field. It'll be hard for them to throw out Carrillo, though, with all his speed. 2-2 on the way. It's in the dirt, and it skips by Bold. The tying run's coming in to score. Blandino gets the stop sign at third. It is 9-9 on the wild pitch. And that's the way the Blues lose their lead, as Gonzalez spiked it past Bold. And now a chance for the Oaks to take the lead with a hit or a sacrifice fly. Bold shaking his head as he walks back. He knew the last thing that Gonzalez could afford was to spike it back to the backstop. And now a full count on Dode, who has a chance to give the Oaks the lead here today. It would be their first of the game. Payoff on the way. Dode strikes out swinging. Big second out for Gonzalez. And with 2 away, the batter will be Chris Wright. That's the second time in a row that Dode has struck out swinging. Chris Wright, though, is a guy that has burned the Blues in both games of this 3-game series. He's hitting the ball just about as well as anyone. The go-ahead grand slam yesterday, he hit a ball all the way to the wall today. He is 1 for 3 with a sac fly as well. Looking to give the Oaks their first lead of the night. 0-0. Wright lifts it to left. It's hanging up for Lewis, who tracks it in, makes the 2-hand catch. The Blues give up 3 to lose the lead as we head to the top of the 9th. It's 9-9. Drama here at Ullman Stadium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the SLO Blues streaming network.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
New right-hander in for the Oaks, who have tied this game in the bottom of the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th. It's Jackson Jordan, the flamethrower from the University of Oregon, who's thrown 2 perfect innings so far for the Oaks in CCL play with 3 strikeouts. Fastball that's topped out so far in warm-up pitches at 93 miles an hour. So Jordan is warming up, and he readies up to face the Blues. Ricken, Adams, and Pemberton due up here in the ninth inning. The Blues have led this entire way, but just gave up their late lead with the Oaks scoring 3 runs in the 8th. And now the Blues have to answer back. And they got to face probably the toughest arm that they've seen today. And it starts with Oregon on Oregon. It's Jackson versus JT Ricken, the Blues' third baseman, the Oregon Ducks. Ricken takes the first fastball at 90 miles an hour back to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez came in for the Blues and just couldn't find the strike zone, and it was eventually too late when he did, as the Oaks came around to score 3 times. 1-0. Ricken takes another fastball upstairs, 89 miles an hour, as the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Ricken, Adams, Pemberton, heart of the order, 4-5-6 for the Blues here in the ninth. 2-0. And Ricken takes another fastball high, 3 balls, no strikes. A walk would be huge here for the Blues. You'll take any kind of base runner you can get in a tie game, late game situation. You wonder if Dean Traynor has thought about maybe a pinch runner if Ricken were to reach. So the catcher Markinson out to talk with the new righty reliever. It's been a lot of this in this 2-game series. Relievers coming in and just not being able to immediately find the zone. We'll see if the take sign's on for Ricken. 3 balls, no strikes. As the pitcher kicks and deals and misses upstairs. A 4-pitch walk is how the inning starts. Ricken is aboard with nobody out. So Jackson Jordan gives up his first base runner of the summer, and the situation gets to him a bit. Ricken is on, and the batter will be TJ Adams, who's got 2 hits. Signs being put on by the Blues. Down the third base line. Adams singled in the first, also has singled in the 7th. First pitch, and Adams takes the breaking ball. 77 on the gun, and right on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Adams, the redshirt sophomore from Arizona. Tough day at the plate yesterday, but he's seen the ball well, and it's finally paid off today with the 2 base knocks. Ricken gets his lead off first. Jackson Jordan deals, and Adams swings and misses at that high fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Jordan, the junior for the Ducks, stands 6'5", 210 pounds. Grew up in Simi Valley, California. Looking to get the Oaks back in the dugout. 0-2. And Adams grounds it up the middle. This could be 2. The shortstop, Schultz, has it. He throws low into the Blues dugout, and Adams gets second for free. Ricken is out at the bag, but the throw ricochets into the Blues dugout, and Adams is in scoring position with 1 out. It almost works the same as just bunting Ricken over, but now you also have speed on the base paths for the Blues. Ricken is fast, but Adams is one of the fastest players on the team. And now he's got a chance to score if the Blues can crack through for a base hit. The batter is Luke Pemberton, who had a huge hit back in the 3rd, an RBI double. 0-0. And Pemberton takes the slider for a strike, 0-1. It was a tailor-made double play ball, and Schultz just threw it away into the Blues dugout. Pemberton flies it foul, backing out of play on the breaking ball again. No balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Matt Massiangelo, the left-handed hitting first baseman. But Luke Pemberton trying to come through in what will be his last game for the San Luis Obispo Blues in his 2nd year with SLO. Adams dances off the second base bag. The 0-2 pitch. Pemberton flies it foul. Still 0-2. Two-strike count on Pemberton, who's got to battle up, put anything in play, try and move over Adams, or at the very best, bring him in. Another 0-2. Pemberton takes the slider outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues have lost 8 of their last 9 versus the Oaks. They led almost the entire way through this game, trying to find a way to somehow down Conejo. Big lead for Adams at second. The 1-2. Pemberton flies it foul again into the parking lot. down the first base line and off something. Car or a bus? That made a loud noise. And the count's still 1-2. Pemberton has 2 hits in CCL play, both RBI doubles. None bigger than the one that won the game for them against Santa Barbara. 1-2. Pemberton checks his swing. Did he go around? No, he did not on the high fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pemberton was emphatic that he did not swing, and he gets the call, and the count evens up 2-2. Big spot for the second-year Blue. Can he come through and bring in Adams from the second base bag? Jackson Jordan looks back at second, delivers, and misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The fans on the side of the Oaks not happy with the call, but that fastball from our vantage point right behind home plate was high and inside. A good take from Pemberton to make the count go full. From 0-2 to 3-2 as Jackson Jordan toes the rubber, looks at second, comes home. Adams takes off for third. The slider is strike 3 called as the Zona redshirt freshman takes the bag. Pemberton strikes out. So Pemberton battles all the way. Tried to walk on the breaking ball, and it was called strike 3. With Adams moving up a bag, it's on Matt Massiangelo to come through here with 2 outs. Jackson Jordan looking for the final out here in the 9th, and to give the Oaks a chance to walk it off in the bottom half of the frame. 0-0. And Massiangelo was hit on it on the elbow guard, and he'll take first base. The batter will be Jake Bold, the catcher. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Bold was just barely clipped by it. The issue with this is you do lose the righty-lefty platoon advantage. But Jake Bold has seen the ball well today. He doubled back in the 4th, and he's 1 for 4. There is another arm warming up in the pen for the Oaks. It is Cody Carson, the right-handed junior from Moore Park Community College. But this is the arm that the Oaks want on the mound right now. Jackson Jordan has been electric for them so far in the CCL season. One of the handful of D1 players on this Oaks roster. And the Blues are going to use a hitting timeout. Bold is going to go chat at third base. It's a collection of Blues. Adams, who stands at, will be the runner at third base. Massiangelo, who will be the runner at first. And Bold all chatting it up down the third base line. He knows his assignment. Needs to find a way to bring in a run with a hit. It was a similar situation for the Oaks last inning, and the way they scored the tying run was on a wild pitch. So Jackson Jordan needs to be careful with Adams at third in the huge backstop here at Ullman Stadium. 0-0 on the way. It's in the dirt, and the slider blocked up by the catcher Markinson. 1 ball and no strikes. Massiangelo at first after the hit by pitch. Adams walked to start the inning and has made his way to third. Here's the 1-0. It's low. 2 balls and no strikes. Jake Bold, the catcher from Princeton, one of just 4 Tigers to hit above 300, and the lone freshman on the list. Now would be a good time for a base hit. 2-0. Bold takes it high. 3 balls, no strikes, and the Blues dugout starting to get loud. A walk would load the bases for Sam DeCarlo, who's homered in this game. Adams at third, Massiangelo at first. A 3-0 count on the 8-hole hitter. The pitch. Bold taking all the way. Watches a fastball in there for a strike. 3-1. Jackson Jordan laboring here in the 9th. The Blues trying to find a way to go ahead and bring their closer back out with a lead. Here's the 3-1. Runner takes off for second. The fastball is on the outside corner to move the count full. Massiangelo takes second. Now a hit might score two as the fans start to chirp Jake Bold at the plate. He thought he had a walk. 3-2, 2 outs. Both runners will be on the move with the crack of the bat. Jordan has his sign. Comes set from the stretch. Kicks and deals. And Bold flies it into center field. It'll be an easy play for Carrillo. Heads into the right center field gap and makes the one-handed catch. The Oaks have a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the ninth. We head there. It's 9-9 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Well, it all comes down to this. Bottom of the ninth inning, a 9-9 tie, and the Blues need 3 outs before allowing a run to send this game to extra innings. Gonzalez to face Peyton, who takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Peyton, Markinson, and Schultz due up for the Oaks here in the ninth inning, trying to send the Blues home unhappy as Peyton takes the changeup in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blues had runners at first and third, but could not bring in the run in the top of the ninth inning as Gonzalez wants another ball. He gets it with a 1-1 count on Peyton. Peyton singled and scored in the second. Since then, he's been retired 3 times in a row. A ground out, a pop out, and a strikeout looking his last time up. Gonzalez's 1-1 is high and out. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Oaks would for sure take a walk, and we've seen they're not afraid to pinch run. 2-1. Peyton rolls it on the ground to second. On the backhand, DeCarlo throws across his body low. A fabulous scoop by Matt Massiangelo for the first out. What a play by the brand new first baseman for the Blues, who stopped that ball from heading back into the Blues dugout. And a big first out for the Blues here in the ninth. We're getting a pinch hitter as well. In for Bennett Markinson, it's Brendan Durfee, the left-handed hitting catcher. Started in yesterday's game and had one heck of a game at the plate. Reached 4 times, a single, 2 walks, and also reached on an infield single. He takes over for Markinson with 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Durfee, the catcher from Cal Lutheran, the senior, steps in facing Gonzalez. Gonzalez from the windup, kicks and deals. And Durfee flies it foul, back and out of play. Oohs and ahs out of the dugout for the Oaks as Durfee just missed that hanging breaking ball. 0-1. Gonzalez ahead in the count. Deals, and Durfee cracks it up the middle, base hit. The catcher's on with a 1-out knock. And the go-ahead runs aboard with 1 out. And a pinch runner will come in for Durfee. Speed is coming to the base paths, as Durfee doesn't know it yet, but now gets time granted. The pinch runner is number 5, Scott Radinsky, the right-handed reliever who we saw yesterday. Must be fast. He's coming into the game for Durfee with 1 out here in the 9th inning. The batter is Taylor Schultz. 1 runner on. That's the potential go-ahead run. And Gonzalez picks back, but not in time. So Durfee comes off the bench and immediately makes an impact for the Oaks. 0-0. And Schultz takes the slider in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues have lost 8 of their last 9 versus the Oaks, trying to flip the script here in this 2-game series. They lost yesterday, but have given up the lead today, and the Oaks looking for a chance to walk it off in the 9th. 1-0. It's in the dirt again. Bold blocks it up. 2 balls and no strikes. Schultz is not biting at that low slider, and now Gonzalez with the 2-0 count has to enter the zone. Schultz has walked his last 2 times up. He's also reached on an error. He's 0 for 2. The 2-0 is in the zone. Schultz hits a fly ball down the left field line. Lewis watches it fall for a base hit. The runner around second, heading to third. Here's Lewis's throw. It's not in time. Second and third, 1 out, and the go-ahead run stands 90 feet away. The double from Schultz, and Lewis never had a chance to catch up to it down the line. And now a sac fly, a wild pitch, anything up the middle could give the Oaks a walk-off victory. Schultz with a big double. That's his first hit of the day. And Carson Falskin, a chance to walk things off here in the 9th inning and send the Blues back home 3 hours to San Luis Obispo with a 2-game sweep. Here's the 0-0 from Gonzalez, and Falskin takes the slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Falskin so far today has a sac fly back in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 5th, walked and scored in the 8th, and struck out looking in the 6th. Gonzalez needs a miracle to get 2 outs without allowing a run to score from third. He brings it home, and Falskin watches the changeup low. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was a tough draw for the Blues closer. Came into a game in the 8th knowing he had to go 2 full innings for the Blues. The strikes have been few and far between, and as the Blues have the infield in, they're trying to find a way to get a non-productive out. 1-1. Falskin takes the slider. Strike 2 called on the outside corner. It's an obvious strikeout spot for the righty for the Blues. We know he has the stuff. Struck out 1 in the 8th. That was Dode on the slider. The 1-2, here it comes. Falskin watches the changeup low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Oaks trying to walk it off. The pitch from Gonzalez. Falskin strikes out swinging. Huge K for Matthew Gonzalez, and he's 1 out away from getting out of the 9th inning. If you were Falskin, the only thing you couldn't do was strike out, and that's what he did. The strikeouts appearing more on the scorecard here late in this game, and this is not a guy you want to see come to the plate. It's Austin Carrillo, the left-handed hitting center fielder. He's got 2 hits today, reached base 4 times in yesterday's contest. And with a right-hander on deck, this is not a situation that Gonzalez should be afraid of pitching out of the zone. If he can trust himself to not throw a wild pitch like he did to allow the Oaks to score, and Jake Bold makes the decision himself, intentionally walking Carrillo to load the bases. So the right-hander, Zachary Schwartzberg, will be the batter. I think that's the right decision by Jake Bold to intentionally walk Carrillo. Now you face the righty, you have a force as any bag, and Carrillo, who's dominated you all series, doesn't have a chance to be the one to beat you. Now Gonzalez can get an out at any base, and he's 1 out away from getting out of the 9th inning. 0-0. Schwartzberg checks his swing. Did he go around on the slider? No. Ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Schwartzberg singled in the first inning. He tripled in the 5th down the right field line. He's 2 for 5. Blues have the infield back to their normal spots. 1-0. Schwartzberg takes the slider. It froze his knees, and it's over the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Drama late here in Thousand Oaks. The Blues trying to avoid losing their 2nd straight game for the first time this summer. 1-1. It's in the dirt on the slider. Did he go around this time? No, again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez is tempting Schwartzberg out of the zone, but the right fielder will not chase. And they count 2-1. 3 runners on. The only one that matters is the pinch runner at third. Radinsky, the right-handed pitcher. 2-1. Schwartzberg taps it foul off his own foot, and the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuces are wild in the 9th. Bases loaded, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Bold is out to talk over this pitch with Matthew Gonzalez. Gonzo, as the Blues call him, needs 1 strike to get through the 9th inning. Bold is discussing this pitch. Do they go to the fastball, try and freeze him, the changeup down in the dirt, or try and tempt him on the slider once again? Radinsky at third, ready to run on anything. Ball in dirt, ball in play, whatever. Gonzalez is 2-2. Schwartzberg lines it into left field, and the Oaks walk it off. They pour out of the dugout to welcome Schwartzberg as he slams his helmet, rounding first base. It is a 10-9 walk-off victory for the Oaks, and the Blues drop their 9th of the last 10 games versus Conejo. Schwartzberg mobbed out in right field as he comes up with the 2-strike walkout base hit, and the Blues head back to San Luis Obispo with a 10-9 defeat. SLO led by as much as 5, led by 3 heading into the 8th, but it's Conejo who found a way to win, and the Blues who dropped the game to the Oaks once again. We thank you for following along to the 2 streams here in Thousand Oaks. The Blues lose this one to Conejo 10-9. We'll be back live from Orange County as the Blues take on the Riptide on Friday and Saturday in Orange County. But the Blues drop a tough one, a walk-off for the Oaks, and a 10-9 victory. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Jack Smith. We'll see you over the weekend after a day off from Orange County after the Blues come home after this walk-off loss.